I just got done having lunch with Bill and Al.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. Or breakfast, and we were talking about that. That's exciting, man. I think.
Yeah,
I mean, the problem is there's just not enough. You know, like 3 years ago, we were like, just what if I was in Philly and I talked to Ari. I was like, what if we all just did all our own specials on the same website? Everyone, all our friends. We're like, yeah, you know, hi, talking about that. Mm-hmm. And now I think, you know, the way things are going, there's no outlet. It's Netflix or that's it.
Yeah, I mean, if you can't get a deal at Netflix, the comics, which most can't, then why not put in a difference? It doesn't matter as long as it's out there and it's promoted.
Yeah.
And it's up on iTunes.
Dude, I saw Bill's special. I saw Bill's, the black and white one.
Right.
I saw that on YouTube. And someone shit on me online. So I was like, dude, this is fucking hilarious. And I retweeted it. Someone's like, bro, you're taking money out of Bill's pocket. That you got to go to Netflix. You got to subscribe to Netflix to watch that. And in my head, I was like, I thought the goal was to watch it.
Right.
Like, that's all I want is I just want people to see it. Netflix happens to be the biggest place where anyone's going to find content these days.
Right.
I just saw Dimitri Martin's special. It's really good.
Oh, yeah. It's on.
Yeah. It's on Netflix.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I've known Dimitri forever.
No, he's a good dude, man.
Yeah,
he's a Jersey guy. Yeah, yeah.
This is my wife, Leanne.
Yeah, I don't know. We never met before. How are you?
So sorry. I was on the phone call.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Great voice.
Jim ran the half marathon with me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I made half. I made half and a half. But I've never ran a marathon before. I didn't train for it, and I bought all new clothes and new sneakers. And I guess.
Are you going to hang out for a second, or are you going back in?
I don't know. I have to leave in like 10 minutes.
Okay. All right. Well, I just wanted to say hi.
Is this the first day of school for the kids here?
Yeah.
Yeah, first day.
Second day for our high schooler. First day for our middle schooler.
Oh, you have one in high school? I didn't know.
Right.
Don't even get me started.
Second grade, but they don't go till after Labor Day, like the Wednesday or something after Labor Day.
That's great. That's what we did when we were kids. But
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I couldn't believe it because I saw Joey said he's walking his kid to the.
Sandy saw Joe. Here, sit back down, Leanne.
Yeah,
you
I'm
leave.
Sorry. Nice to
I love you. I love you.
But anyway,
Nice to
yes,
see
it was
you.
nice meeting you. Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Hey, I need to talk to you about your birthday.
Okay.
All right, not now, but
You like Tito's? 'Cause-
you like Tito's? We were just talking about my impulse control problems.
Right.
So like I have real legit impulse problems. Like I hadn't been drinking or smoking or doing anything leading up to this triathlon I did this past weekend, and I ate like a person with a problem. Like I mean, we were in Target and I opened a thing of Oreos and just started eating Oreos. And I ate half a thing of Oreos walking through Target. And Leanne's watching me. She's like, "What's wrong with you?" We went to Wendy's for the girls, and I got a Baconator and a double cheeseburger, and I ate both of them. I couldn't stop fucking eating. She was like, "What is wrong?" I couldn't reel it back. And so now I'm not drinking and dieting, and I feel like a fucking 8th grade girl with fucking eating disorder. It's fucking terrifying.
Well, yeah, I mean, I do that too with drinking. Like, I won't drink for a while. I'm not a big drinker, but then I know when I got something big coming up, I indulge.
Really?
Whatever it is, yeah. Sometimes I'll go on like a juice fast for like 5 days.
Yeah.
And then when I'm off it, you know, you're supposed to like ease back into food and all that stuff. I'm just full on, just because you miss it.
How come you never got bit by the alcoholic bug?
Because whenever I drank, I always wanted to drink to get a buzz on so I could talk to girls.
Yeah.
That was my motivation because I was always shy. I couldn't talk to them sober, so if I had a couple of drinks in me, it would loosen me up.
Really?
And I never wanted to get too drunk because then I couldn't hook up with them.
So was your addiction girls then?
Yeah, it was definitely chicks, yeah.
See, I wish I had that one. I never had that one. Like, and almost.
But that leads to other problems too. You know what I mean? That leads to 6, 7 in the morning trying to come on. We're doing everything you can to try to get in their pants.
So then, what's your lowest you've been with girls? Like I'll tell you my lowest with alcohol. This is the lowest I've ever been with alcohol. Where I was like, bro, what the fuck are you doing? I was getting on a flight from Utah to Vegas to jump off the stratosphere, and I had been on a world's biggest slingshot the day before, and I had to get up at like 5 so that I could fly to jump off to do an interview that day. And I woke up and I had these IPAs from Utah, these high, and I was in the shower drinking IPAs so I could get on my flight. And I threw up IPA in the shower at like 5 in the morning, and I just was like, "What the fuck, bro?" I was like, "You need to get into like this is bad." Like that's where I was like, if anyone saw you right now, they'd cry for you. What's your lowest with girls where you're like, oh, fuck?
There's been a bunch because, you'll just pick up some strange girl. This is a long time ago. And then as soon as I come, I'm like, okay, now I got to leave or you got to leave. This is over. Like, and then I'm like, shit, how am I going to get out of this now? It's like, and I'm like, what? And then because you don't want the girl to stay over because you don't trust her. I've had guys get rolled before. They pass out and they steal everything and you never hear from them again. You don't even know their name.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
So you've had sex with girls that you didn't really know their names?
No, I didn't even know. At the end, I'm like, "What's your name again?" I want to, whether put it in my phone. I go, "How do you spell it?" I always do that. I go, "How do you spell it?" One girl's like Mary. So I'll go, "No, it's just because I got a friend that spells it a different way." Yeah. I would always use that one. I go, "I just want to spell it right." Like, are you seriously? Susan, Susan. I'm like, I just didn't know. I go, everyone spells it a weird way. You never know it was spelled like that.
So funny. So wait, when was your peak of getting pussy? Like if you could go back, I'll do this with booze for me. Like if I could go back to one time that was the funnest drinking. Easily was college. Like when I was really discovering marijuana and booze and mushrooms and ecstasy and coke and like everything was fun. There was no repercussion. Drink in the morning, cool. Pass out. Drink tonight, nah. Yeah, I go back there in a fucking heartbeat. Drink all day long, easy. Yeah. Now I can't do it.
No, why there was another. Before I get to that, there was another one. So. There was this guy that was a professional wrestler, and he was also a bouncer at this rock club that I worked at.
Yeah.
And I knew him. And it was a strip club, too, like during the day or whatever. And I pick up this girl. She's a stripper. I think she was a stripper, probably. And we go back to her place. And we're having sex in a room, and all of a sudden, the wrestler comes over. And he's like, "Where are you, Mary? Where are you?" Screaming. I'm like, "Is that Jimbo?" And she's like, "Yeah." I go, "What the fuck is he doing here?" Because he's pounding on the front door. And she goes, "Oh, we're still kind of dating." I go, "I didn't know you guys were dating." And he's like, "Open the door. Who the fuck's in there? I'm gonna kill whoever." I'm like, "Hold it." So now she lets him in. I'm under the bed naked. I'm under her bed naked, and they're screaming out there. He goes, "I'm going in that room. If I find you, I'm gonna fucking kill that guy." And he knows me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Holy shit!" I'm under the bed, and I'm freaking out. And he screams like, "There's nobody in there. I swear I wouldn't do that to you, Jimbo. Please, believe me." He goes, "No, I'm gonna go check anyway." She goes, "Why?" So you don't believe me? She's trying to turn around. I fucking climbed out the window. This is like at 5:30 in the morning.
What year is this?
This is probably 19.
How old are you?
I'm 23.
Oh my God.
23, 24. So I'm in the bushes naked in like an apartment complex. I got my clothes are across the room. I just ran, opened the window, and I'm in the bushes just waiting, and it's light out. And people started going to work, and I go, "I'm not running. I'm just going to stay in these bushes." And about an hour and a half later, the dude finally left. And she was looking all around for me, and then she just opened the window. She's like, "He must have went out the window because his clothes are still here." And I was in the bushes. I climbed back in. I'm like, and that guy never knew. But he would have killed me.
Oh my God.
I was under the bed naked. That was a low point. I'm like, holy shit. But she didn't tell me. Like if she said, "Hey, I got a boyfriend," and it's this guy Jimbo, there's no fucking way. But no, look, getting back to it, so probably like the late 80s, I was a rock DJ. I was working like a heavy metal club. I was also working at a strip club as a DJ. And it was like, everyone had the long hair. It was Bon Jovi. I grew up in the next town from Bon Jovi.
Beautiful long hair.
Oh yeah, I looked like David Coverdale, Robert Plant, whatever. Bon Jovi. Yeah, I had the long curly hair, blonde hair down to my shoulders, and and girls were totally into that. So like hairdressers and strippers. Were totally into that look. And it was like that rock scene where all the 80s metal bands. You look like one of those dudes you were getting laid. I still lived at home. I had no money.
Yeah.
They didn't even care. So that you just cleaned up in that era. Before that, I was shy. I remember all my friends were in bands. And they're like, my friend's like, "Dude," he goes, "you got short hair and a bad mustache." He goes, you got to get rid of that. You're never going to get laid. Yeah. Look at you. He says, "Grow your hair long." And all my friends had long hair, and I just grew it. And all of a sudden, it was like, holy shit.
Really?
It was insane.
So wait, what kind of kid were you? Because I feel like, here's what's crazy is like, I feel like I know, like every comic I kind of know. Like I know, like Bobby, like I know what kind of kid he was because you'd hear stories, but I never knew what kind of kid you were. Like, and I knew you were really good friends with Jim, but that was early in comedy. Yeah. And I can picture that trajectory. I can picture you and Jim at like, what did you start? Did you start at like 20?
No, I started like 24.
24. How
Yeah.
old was Jim when he started? Like
He was young. He was probably 20,
Yeah.
19 or 20.
I can imagine you guys as roommates. I can imagine. I remember you when I first started in like 99. I think I started 98, 99. But what were you like as like a child? Do you have brothers and sisters?
There's 7 of us. Catholic.
Are you fucking serious?
Yeah, 7 of us. Catholic.
I had no clue.
Catholic family. I was a middle child. 4 brothers, 3 sisters in the family. Parents together, married for 35 years or whatever. And just a wild man because I was in Catholic schools. I hated it. I wanted to be in public schools. Just being a dick.
Were your brothers and sisters funny? Was your family funny?
Yeah, everyone. Pretty much everyone.
Because you're one of the. You're like a. I would say that there's more than 2 types of comedians, but there's comedians who have to look cool, and then there are comedians who like to giggle, like comedians who got into it because they like to laugh.
Right.
And I always thought you and Jim are like prankster comics. Like I remember one time you and Jim were sitting at the cellar by the bar. You were standing by the bar at the cellar, I think, when I was young, and I said to both you guys, I go, hey, Jim, knowing both your names were Jim, but I go, hey Jim, what's the bartender's name? And you went, oh, it's Ricky. And I went, oh, okay. I go, hey Ricky, and the guy didn't do anything. I go, Ricky, and Norton goes louder. I go, Ricky, and he goes, it's not Ricky. And I went, and you guys are dying laughing, and I went, oh, that's kind of comic I am. I like fun.
We've been using that one for years. Always give the wrong. Where's the bathroom? Well, yeah, where's the bathroom? It's right out there to the left, right by the kitchen. You just send somebody the wrong way every time. I remember my ex-father-in-law. We were watching football like at ESPN Zone. He goes, "Where's the bathroom?" I go, "It's right up there, right by the kitchen. Go through that door." He went into the kitchen looking for the bed. He comes back out. He's like, all the way. He's giving me the finger. He's like, "Fuck you," and I'm just waving there. He's like, "Fuck you."
One of my favorite one of those, because that's my personality. Like when you guys did that to me,
right.
I giggled so hard, and I went, I'm definitely using that. One of my favorite ones ever. And I got to give credit to the guy who did it first. It's this guy, Chris Quinn. We're all in Key West. I do this every single time it happens. We're in Key West. We're on a booze cruise, and everyone's on one side of the boat watching the sunset. And finally it hits the horizon, and everyone goes, "Oh," and turns around to go back to get a drink. And Chris Quinn at the top of his lungs goes, "Oh my God, it's coming back up." And everyone turns around, and I could not stop. I was like, that's my favorite joke ever. I do it all the time. I do it every time I see a sunset. Every time I see a sunset.
That's funny.
But what was like, so did you guys like, and Chris Quinn, oddly enough, was from a big Irish family. But when you went to their house, you could not keep up. They were so fucking funny. His whole family was like you'd get there and they'd be like, "Mom, Bert's too afraid to ask you for a drink." And you'd be like, "I didn't say that." And like, "Mom, just ask him. Mom, he wants a drink and he's afraid to ask you." And then the older brothers would just start, "If you want a drink, just get a drink. Ask my mom. My mom's cool. Mommy called you a bitch." Like they would just, and you could not keep up with their family. Was that like your family?
Oh yeah. There's
I'm so jealous.
There's like 4 out of 7 that are complete ball busters.
Really?
Yeah. We did this one to my brother and his wife and their 2 kids, and they were small. We got those fake lottery tickets, and they scratched them off, and it said that they won $1 million. Like we just did. It was at a birthday party. Go, "Hey, we got a bunch of these. You guys want to scratch them off? I just got 40 of them, whatever." Okay. And we knew which one to give to my brother and his wife, and they scratched it off, and they won $1 million. They were jumping up and down. They were crying. They were so happy. They were hugging each other. They're planning vacations. They're planning, "Oh, we're gonna go here. No, we're gonna do this. Dad, will you get me that car?" We didn't stop it. We let it go for like 20 minutes. They're making plans. My brother's wife's calling her friends. "We just won $1 million." And then he looks at the back after about 20 minutes. He goes, "Wait, to redeem this, go to 1, 2, 3. You're a stupid way. You're an idiot. This is fake. New Jersey. What?" And then he's like, he didn't talk to us for a month. Yeah, they didn't talk to us for a month. They were so mad. I'm like, "Come on, you're mad." I go, you would have loved it if you got me on that."
Yeah.
He goes, "No, you fucked us up, man. That fucked us up bad." I go, my daughters were crying in the back seat the whole way.
We're not millionaires.
Yeah. But we let it run. Of course, you can't just tell them right
That's
away.
fucking great.
My son does the same thing. Like I take him to concerts. He's around all my friends. Bob, I said we were tailgating, and he peed in a cup in the parking lot tailgating, and he goes over to my friend. He goes, "Here, I got a beer for you." Here, and the guy's like, "Wait, no, I'm not." He goes, "You drink it first," and he pretends like he drinks it. Oh, it's pretty good. Here, he's already into doing it.
How do you measure? Like, do you ever second guess your parenting because you go, what I find funny and what I get a kick out of, and the way I behave and what I find acceptable behavior, other parents don't find it to be that. Like other parents, and I only say this from my perspective, is like things I find funny and things that make me laugh or things that I find acceptable. Other parents like go like, we've definitely lost some parents in the fray. Like other parents have been like, yeah, I curse still in front of kids.
Yeah.
Like I definitely curse. Like, do you think about that with parenting?
I don't think about it because I'm like, whatever. I mean, there's a few parents that I'm close to. My son's, friends with their kids, and we all hang out, and they're totally, fine.
And they get you.
Yeah, they get it. Yeah, they go into my shows and stuff. They're not so uptight. But I haven't met those parents yet that are uptight. I'm sure I will.
Yeah,
but I haven't met him yet. I don't
care. Are you in?
He's going into second grade. So
yeah, that's still young. And and there is like it's like around fifth grade where you start saying shit like, oh fuck it, like that's when it started. Like and we have good type friends, and I can fuck with their kids hard. Like I can definitely, like I bet this one kid for the Seahawks Rams game we got seats next to each other, and I bet the kid $200 the Rams are gonna win, and if the Seahawks won, I give him $200. But if the Rams won, I got to cut his hair. And so
that's great.
Oh, it was great. And the Rams won, and I got drunk as fuck. I stopped by my house, grabbed my clippers on the way home, went to his house, and the first thing I did is I cut his bangs like Simple Jack, like from Tropic Thunder.
Right, yeah.
And he looks at me dead serious. He's 10 years old, and he goes, "Does it look cool?" And I went, "You thought I wanted to cut your hair? You thought I wanted? Oh, you fucking idiot!" And it was like, but like, you got to have cool parents to hang around like with that. You know?
Yeah. No, you just weed them out. It's almost like the comics on the comic scene. You know which ones you want to hang with and which ones you can't. So you just kind of weed those people out. Just go, okay, I'll keep them at a distance.
Yeah.
Those parents, they're not into this or whatever, so I'll just keep. But these other parents I know could take it and ball bust or whatever we're doing, they'll be fine.
How old were you when you lost your virginity?
I was a month away from I was 18.
For real?
I was out of high school.
Really?
Yeah. I was a super shy kid. Like I grew up like in Catholic where I was just basically don't talk about sex, don't even think about sex. I'm not even gonna. My parents never talked to me about sex, and just don't do it because you're gonna go to hell. Basically, I was in Catholic schools pretty much my whole life. So I was in like wrestling and music. So that was pretty
pro wrestling,
pro wrestling and music. My older brothers got me into it and stuff. And then we just play sports, football, baseball, the kids in the neighborhood. I lived in a big neighborhood where we all just got together after school. We'd all just hang out and build like tree forts and drink beer. I was smoking pot when I was 12 years old.
For real?
That was the first time I smoked, yeah. I was drinking beer at 12, smoking cigarettes.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, how did that get into your life? Was it
my older brothers, hanging out with them. They were all, they were 17, so 17, 16. They were all smoking weed and stuff, and I'd hang with them. And they just passing a joint around. I'm like, yeah, don't tell mom. I go, I'm not gonna. No, please. I'm like, this is fucking great. You're gonna let me? And then I would steal my mom's cigarettes. She had Virginia Slims, those real long ones.
Yes, and the skinny ones.
Yeah, the skinny
I loved
ones.
smoking those.
Those were amazing, but I had to make sure that I couldn't have them out in the open because they'd be like, what are you queer? You fag, you homo. You get called every name. So I'd keep them in my sock. I'd keep my sock in the bar, and then I would take one out when I was in the bar, and I would just start smoking. My friends go, where'd you get that? I got some chick. She had an extra cigarette. Whatever. I'll smoke anything. It doesn't matter. I had to hide them.
I remember Virginia Slims. I loved my mom. We used to keep them in our hutch. She had a pack of Virginia Slims, and she didn't smoke all that often, but they were there.
Right.
I went through that whole pack. I had to buy another pack and then dip into that one to replace the one.
Right. Yeah.
Oh.
Well, she would have cartons in the house, so I would just steal a pack,
real?
and they were the soft ones too, the soft pack. So.
Does your mom still smoke?
No, she smoked for 40 years.
Really?
Yeah.
And when did you quit?
I quit about like 23, 24. I quit smoking pot when I was 17. I smoked from like 12 to 17.
Really?
Yeah, and I was just getting me paranoid, tired, and that was it. So really, I got a little buzz, and so I just stopped that. And then smoking cigarettes like 23, 24. It just wasn't. I would only smoke when I would drink. I would never wake up in the morning and smoke a cigarette. As long as you're hanging out the bar, you smoke a cigarette, drink a beer.
And so what did you do right before you got into comedy?
I was DJing. I had my own DJ business. I was DJing like weddings and parties.
Good God.
And then I was DJing like a rock club. You know, but I had my own business. I worked with this other company, and then I had my own business. You know, I just lug records there and just play them, get like $400. Yeah, I had records. Yeah, this was like, you know,
shit. Yeah, I guess it was
87, 88, 89.
There was no CDs. There
was no CDs. I had to bring crates of records, like 6 crates.
Holy shit!
But it wasn't a good because I was in the metal. And I hated playing like Kool and the Gang Celebration and these goofy songs. I remember like that Buster Poindexter song, Hot, Hot, Hot was out. Remember that goofy song?
Hot, hot, hot.
Yeah, that was like a big wedding song at the time. People some dude come over, dude, can you play that hot, hot? I go, no, I'm not playing that. Like, why? It's a wedding. I go, no, I got a song. Yeah, exactly.
Congratulations to Brandon Billy.
I go, that song sucks. I'm not playing it. Go back to your table. What the fuck's wrong with you? You're a grown man. You shouldn't like hot, hot, hot.
So what got you? What was the spur that got you into comedy?
You know, I was DJing on the radio too. Like this little station, and I was cracking jokes in between the songs. Nothing. I wasn't trying to be like Howard Stern or anything like that. And they were like, "Dude, you can't do that. You just got to play the music and give the weather and the time, and then just go to the next song. Nobody wants to hear you making jokes." It was whatever was topical. I just would throw a quick one-liner out. I'm like, "Yeah, but I want to build a following." You know, no, you don't do any of that stuff. And I'm like, "This sucks." So I wanted to be a DJ on the radio.
Yeah.
And then I was just sitting around, and you know, of course, when I saw Dice, you know, do his hours for the Dangerfield special, and then the Dice, the HBO special.
Yeah.
I saw that Kinnison come along, and he does a rock band. He sang on all these rock dudes because I was more like a rock guy. I was like, fuck, man, they're almost bringing like a rock element to comedy. These guys are like rock stars, Kinnison and Dice. So it still took me about a year or two to get up on stage, the balls, because I wasn't good at public speaking at all. I didn't go in front of, in school. If I had to go in front of the class, I wouldn't even show up for school that day. I took acting class in college. I was always petrified.
Really?
Sometimes I wouldn't even show up. Yeah, I was super shy.
That's so interesting because I don't know you as shy.
And even as a DJ, like I was just in the booth. I wasn't really talking that much. I remember the owner of the place like, dude, you got to talk, Michael. People just want to hear the music. We're in a heavy metal club. They don't want to hear some fucking guy talking in between the songs. They don't give a shit.
Yeah.
But I was always, and the guy even said, man, you're so shy in the mic, and now you're a comic, because I just got over that fear. And once I got up on stage, I got one laugh. I'm like, this is what I want to do.
Really?
Yeah.
What was your first joke that worked? I remember Patrice said his first joke that worked was a help, I've fallen and I can't get up joke.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, my first joke that worked was jacking off in a cheeseburger. Like I jacked off in a cheeseburger one time. I used a cheeseburger to jack off.
Right.
And it was like I don't even remember the premise, but that worked, and out of a shock value. And I was like, all right, we're good. I'm ready to go. I got it.
Mine was, I said something about roses. Every time I get a girl roses, it never it just doesn't work out for me or something like that. I go, you know what I call it, a dozen roses, because it doesn't fucking work. That was my joke. That was my joke.
Because it doesn't fucking work.
I had to throw fucking in there, of course. But I remember when I first started, I had long hair. I would have gone on stage with like a leather jacket. I was like Dice, you know.
Yeah.
You know, it was dirty, and then I'd realize I got to, this isn't going to work.
Wait, so how long from when you started until you met Dice?
About 10 years.
Really? That's still really young. I mean, not anymore, because now comics get famous doing it 6 years.
Right.
Like, there's comics that have been doing it 3 years that call themselves comics that are like, yeah, I'm a stand-up comedian. At 3 years, I don't know if I would have had the balls to say I'm a stand-up comedian. I would have been like, I do comedy. That's what I would have said.
Right.
I do comedy, yeah, but now it's like, it seems like success has happened so quickly that like 10 years... I remember hearing Dane said he did it 20 years one time. And I was like, wow, when I do it 20 years, I hope I'm successful. And now 20 years is 10 years to everyone else. Oh, I've been doing it 10 years. That's like 20 years.
Yeah, I mean, you're not a real comic till about year 9.
Yeah.
Is when you really could say you're a solid comic that can headline an A room.
I think 10 years is I think 10 years is like, you are a competent stand-up comic.
Yeah, 9, 10
everyone's
years.
Got a different learning curve. I'm sure Chappelle probably was much more talented at 4 years than the average comic at 10 years. But I think it sways both ways. But I think for the most part, at 10 years,
Yeah, somewhere around there. Well, me and Jim got booked on Louis Anderson Comedy Showcase. It was on NBC.
and it was on. Hold on one second. It was shot on Santa Monica Pier.
Yep.
Okay, so I remember Jim running that set at the Boston Comedy Club.
Really?
Yeah, I know, and I remember saying, because I worked the door at that time. That must have been 99, 98.
Yeah.
And I worked the door, and he said, "Yeah, I'm doing the Louis Anderson thing." And I said, "Really?" I was just listening. You know, I wasn't like, I was just literally the door guy. And he was like, "Yeah, it shoots on the Santa Monica Pier." And someone's like, I think Bobby or Patrice was like, "Santa Monica Pier? Right, well, you gonna be outside?" And that's, of course, that's a Patrice impression. Right. But like, and then cut to 2 years later, I shot at that same theater for National Lampoon's funny people or something. And I went, "Oh, this is where he shot that thing."
Right in that same little theater.
Yeah, that was good. And that aired on like Friday nights or Saturday nights
Yeah.
on NBC.
Yeah. So they flew us out to California to do it. Me, Jim Norton, Lenny Marcus,
Yep.
and this guy Rich Francesi. We're all friends. We were the four guys.
Rich Francesi, is he the guy that used to say, "I'm losing weight by not licking the top of the"? Rich was a big guy, right?
Yeah, he was a big guy. He like walk on stage. You guys are thinking like, what the hell's the bouncer doing on stage?
Yeah,
like that was one of his jokes. So he was great. So big dude, whatever. So we were the four that got it from New York. So they flew us out here, and our first day in L.A., me and Norton bonded over Dice and like Black Sabbath.
But you guys didn't know each other. You guys knew each other before then.
Me and Jim knew. I was running open mic at this strip club. It was
before the Louis Anderson thing. You guys didn't know each other?
No, we did. We did.
Yeah.
But this is our first day in Los Angeles ever. Yeah. We fly out at like whatever 1999. We'd never been here before, and we're hanging out with this. I forget this female comic that we knew, and she goes, "Hey," she goes, "Dice is at the Comedy Store," and we were somewhere or whatever, and we're like, "Get the fuck out of here!" So we rushed up there. I think we were in rehearsal. We had to rehearse or something for the next night, and we ran to the Comedy Store, and Dice was there, and me and Norton. That's what we bonded over when we met.
Yeah.
And we're like, holy, he's in the back talking to Rich Voss outside. And we knew Voss from New York.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, we got to get a picture. I'm like, yeah, we got to get a picture. All right, I'm going to try to get in here. Like, all right, we're all nervous. Like, holy shit, there he is. And then when I go, "Hey, Dice," I go, "Can I get a picture?" He goes, "No. No." I go, "What do you mean?" He goes, No, I'm not taking a picture. Nobody tells me what to do." And then he just starts talking to Voss again. I'm like, fuck. And Norton's like, "Let's get out of here. He's a dick." I go, No. I go, "I'm going to give one more shot." I go, "They'd come all this way for him to." I go, "Dice," I go, we're comics from New York. Come on, we're big fans. We can't get a picture." He's like, and he's in my face like an inch away. He's like, for like 30 seconds, just staring at him like, this guy's going to punch me out. He goes, "Yeah, you guys are comics from New York?" I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Yeah, sure, let's take pictures." We did a whole photo shoot.
Let's take pictures.
Yeah, let's take pictures. "No, you do this one this way." And then we told him we were big fans of The Day Till Laughter Died, those records where he bombs.
Yeah.
We knew every word to every one. He didn't remember saying this stuff. He's laughing. He's like, "I said that." I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Hey, you guys go on stage tonight. Could you and do the act for me and my friends? Go up as Jim and Jim. I'll tell the booker, put these guys on for 5 minutes, and you guys get 2 mics and do my jokes. And me and my friends will sit in the back of the room, and we'll be like," I'm like, "All right." And we went up there, and within like 10 minutes, he told the guy, "Put these guys on. They're my friends. Put them on." He's yelling at whoever, I forget who it was. And
it was Dean at that time, I think.
Okay, yeah.
And, or maybe it wasn't. I don't know.
And we bombed because we were doing these dirty, like Dice had these jokes, like these one-liners. I made no, "I'd fuck you with one sock on, so I got something to wipe my prick off afterwards." You know what I mean? It's like shit like that. Bette Midler shit yodels. "Nobody believes me." Like these stupid lines. I mean, and the crowd's just staring at us, and Dice and his buddies are in the back dying laughing. And then we recorded it. We went in his Cadillac, and then we listened back to it. And then and he goes, "Hey," he goes, and we were staying at the Bellage, which is behind the Viper Room. It's the London now.
Yeah.
And he knew we were staying. He dropped us off there. He goes, "Hey, you guys want to go hang out tomorrow?" To me and Norton. We're like, "Yeah." He goes, "Yeah, maybe we'll go shopping." I'm like, "All right." He goes, "All right, I'll call you. What room you in?" And then the next day, like 9 in the morning, we're telling Francesi and Lenny Marcus, we all stayed in the same room. We got a suite. And we're like, they're like, "Wow, that's cool." He goes, "He's not going to call you." I'm like, "Yeah, probably not." And next morning he called. He goes, "Hey, come on, let's go. We're going to go shopping." And Lenny Marcus is like, "Hey, do you think I can go?" I go, "Yeah, probably." I go, "Let's just come out to the car with us." And he comes out, and Dice sees him. He goes, "Who's that?" I go, "He's a comic from New York, too." I go, "Can he come?" He goes, "No." And Lenny's like, just stand. He goes, no. He goes, you can't come. And I'm like, Dice, come on. He's a fan too. He goes, no. He goes, look, you're a comic. He goes, you can't be funny. Look at you. You're not funny. Get out of here. Go away. Get out of here. And me and Jim went shopping with him and hung out with him for like 6 hours. And then when we left, he goes, give me your numbers. I'm looking for openers to start, to open for me, especially East Coast guys when I come to the East Coast. So he started using Jim at first, and he brought Jim on Opie and Anthony. He goes, I got this guy I'm bringing in. Jim was never on Opie and Anthony before. Dice brought him on. He goes, this guy's a freak. He's got these crazy stories. He's insane. You're going to love him. And they brought Norton in. They're like, oh, my God, you're hilarious. You got to come back in more often. He's like, yeah, sure. And me and Jim were living together at the time.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I didn't know any of this.
Yeah, and so that's how Jim got the gig on Opie and Anthony. Dice brought him in from us meeting him. And then, Jim started to open for him. Then I started opening for him. And we'd open for together. It was me, Sebastian, and Jim, and Dice at Stardust. We'd do that like once a month. We'd have different guys open them from all the time.
Really?
Yeah, it was crazy. But Jim got the gig, basically, Opie and Anthony gig from Dice, bringing them on. And they loved him because Jim was telling all these about hooking up with prostitutes. And I'm telling them, like, the only rule. And then Jim brought me on Opie and Anthony. So I started going on. Jim's like, I got a roommate or whatever. And I started going. And then I went on Howard Stern's show and then kind of took that path that way. But
how fucking fascinating.
Yeah.
I didn't know any of that with you and Dice and Jim. I assumed he just saw you in the back of a club one night and just liked you guys and you guys just, and I didn't know that. That's such a great fucking story.
Yeah, and we were just, we couldn't believe when we met him. Like, we're just like, holy shit, that's the guy. Because that's all we talked about when I met Norton about is Dice and like Black Sabbath, and that's how me and Jim bonded. I was doing comedy like 6 months, and I was running an open mic night on like a Monday night, and Jim came by. And he's like, hey, I go on stage. He used to come see me at this little club, and he would sit right in the front. I'm like, this kid's a fucking weirdo. He'd sit there by himself. I'm like, dude, do you have any friends? And he was shy and quiet, and he was doing these jokes about like raping his grandmother in church. I'm like, I like this guy. This guy's sick. And he would come around, and that's how we became friends. And then these other headliners would start bringing me and Jim out, because I'd book like one headliner on the show each week and pay him $100, and the rest of it was open mic. And the headline, so Rich Voss, Bob Levy, guys who've been around a long time would come in there, and then they took a liking to me and Jim.
Really?
So they would take us on the road to open for them. We had like 10 minutes or whatever, but we were just fucking creeps.
How fucking great.
Yeah, and Bob Levy had a huge alcohol problem. So his wife at the time didn't want him to drive, so she Bob was already working all these clubs. So me and Jim would open for him because she knew that we would drive the car. She didn't want Bob behind the wheel. So we always say, because of Bob Levy's alcohol problem, we were working like 5 nights a week after doing comedy about a year and a half.
So wait, so by the way, I'm obsessed with Dice too. Like, I'm obsessed. I remember the first time I met him just being like I couldn't get past. To this day, I can't get past, I don't know if he's fucking with me or not. Like, do you ever hear the interview he did on Opie and Anthony of with Judd Apatow?
Yeah.
And he just walks in and he's like, hey, he's in my seat. and he doesn't know who Judd Apatow is. And he just is fucking, I just, like, there's a part of Dice where I just go, it's like the ultimate troll, like the ultimate fuck with you, the ultimate comic. Like, it's just fucking around nonstop. He was in the back of the store one time, and he was telling a story to. I'm gonna punch this up the way I do. I speak in hyperbole. I make things bigger than they were, but I'm not joking when I say this. Louis Anderson, Chris Rock, Roseanne Barr, and one other person. I wish I could remember the third, but I think, by the way, I think me and Steve Byrne maybe. Were the two, or Gary Goldman, were the young comics in the room. And he was telling this story about taking his kids to the park and putting bikes on the back of the truck and back of the car, getting bikes in the thing. Hey, what about the bikes? And we were howling laughing, and he was not trying to be funny. He was definitely not trying to be funny. He was just telling a story about how the kids wanted the bikes. He gets the bikes to the park, and then they play on another ride, and now his shins are all banged up. What about the bikes? We were laughing so fucking hard. So I will hear any good Dice story.
I think he put that routine on this album called Filth.
Oh my God!
About the bikes. He went to the bike with his wife, and he's
Chris
trying to
Rock
get him off.
was,
Yeah,
Chris Rock was doubled over laughing,
yeah.
going, "Please tell me that's in your act." And he's like, "Huh?" And I'm not even fucking around. And I don't mean this. I would never say anything negative about Dice. Will not come out of my mouth. But I'm not even fucking around. He did not do that on stage. He went out and did like older Dice stuff on stage that night and did not do the bike stuff.
Right.
But I remember we were in the back pissing, laughing, and everyone's like, "Please say that's in your act." And he's like literal, like, huh? Like almost like he did this joke about this kid, his psycho friend. His kids had a psycho friend who tried to play dead. Did you ever hear that story?
No.
And he's like, I got a fucking mirror under this kid's nose. He's not fucking dead, but he doesn't know that I don't know that he's not dead. Like, it's just as fun. And I'm like, oh my God, he's the great, like, he's the best.
He's amazing. You know, no, it's just an inspiration, you know, just to where he got to, at the level he got to, and just to, you know, once you get to really know him, he's a really good dude. He's standoffish, you know, and when some people go, he's a dick, but you know, he's like, look, he goes, in my height of my popularity, he goes, I'd be walking in a mall, my wife and 2 little kids, you know, and these guys would come up, hey, Dice, this chick was sucking my dick, you know, in front of his wife and his kids. He's like, you know, so he pretty much had to put a guard up. He goes, now anyone that approaches me, I'll get out of here, leave me alone, you know what I mean? Because he doesn't know. He's like, I'm not that guy off stage. I don't need you doing that.
Yeah, that must. His kids are sweethearts.
They're great. They're
greatest kids.
Killer band they're in.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they're great kids.
They play at the Kibitz Room every other Saturday.
Yeah. No, I've seen them live a bunch of times.
Yeah, I've been wanting to go see them, but I'm never home. I'm never home when they're playing. I'm always on the road. But yeah, their kids are great, and he's touring with Eleanor now.
Yeah. No, yeah, I did a guest set at their show a few weeks ago. It was in Jersey.
What was it like being on the road with Dice?
You know, it's like you resort back to a child.
Yeah.
The show's over, and we go get snacks and go to 7-Eleven and get Slurpees, and we eat chips. I remember me and Norton were his first night ever in Vegas, and we're staying in like the suite where like Sinatra and Sammy Davis and all those guys at the Stardust.
Yeah.
Dice had that, like the top floor, and we went to the 7-Eleven and got snacks, and it was just me, Dice, and Norton. And that's what we were doing. No girls, no nothing. We're like, the fuck's going on here? He's like, you want Starburst? Come on. When he first took us out that time, he goes, we got to stop at 7. He was like, come on, boys, come on in. We're like, boys? We're not fucking 12. Okay, you want a Slurpee? And he goes, I'll get 2 cups. Watch, I steal a cup. And he put it in 2 cups, and it was just pure nonsense.
What a fucking...
I know, come on, boys, we got to get Slurpees. So we all had to load up on Slurpees. And
one of the best compliments I've ever gotten in my career, ever. And it's always third hand. And I'm only sharing it with you because it made my fucking life. Made my life. I was talking to Danish and O'Neill, who are good friends with Eleanor and good friends with the whole Comedy Store group. And apparently, and Eleanor just shared this with me. I guess they were in Atlanta maybe, or somewhere that I was coming to, and my video came up, and Dice sees it, and he goes, oh, by the way, this is all third hand. He goes,
right.
Wait, where's his shirt? And Eleanor goes, oh, he doesn't wear his shirt. And Dice goes, I fucking love it. What? No shirt? He don't wear a shirt? And then Eleanor goes, yeah, he's actually a funny comedian. He shows him the Machine story, and he goes, oh, I fucking love this kid. No shirt. He's no shirt. Like he just thought it was funny as shit. And they told me that, and I was like, oh, that's better than any development deal I'll ever get. And I don't ever want to run into him because I've only met him a couple times. But I don't want to live down what I believe him to have thought about me, and then him to run and be like, "Oh yeah, I saw you shit. Shit." Like I just want to live that moment in my head of.
It's true.
You know.
Yeah, you got that. Great
you never
memory.
want to meet your heroes. I met Gene Simmons. He was a cunt.
Yeah,
you met all rock stars.
He's a little standoffish. One quick thing about Dice. So Dice comes to my wedding, right?
Yeah.
And he comes over and he goes, here. He has a wad of cash. He goes, here, take this. Put it in your pocket. I go, okay. He goes, look. I'm looking around. I see your friends, and they're all a bunch of dirtbags. I don't trust them. He goes, so put this in your pocket. He goes, there's no card. He goes, just stick this in your pocket because I'm not leaving a card out because that's going to get stolen. He goes, and one other thing. He goes, look, I'm glad this is your day. This is a beautiful day. This is awesome. I'm really happy for you. I'm not trying to ruin anything for you, but just know one day she's going to hate your guts. I call him up 3 years later, 2.5 years later, I go, Dice, you were right. Just know one day she's going to hate your guts.
Oh,
It was great.
how he couldn't have been more.
And then
true.
he left because there was a girl in the wedding party that took her. It was on the beach. We had it like at a beach place. So the girl took her shoes off and was dancing barefoot, and she had to go out to the car to put like more money in the meter, and her feet were dirty because it was a little rainy or something. And he comes and she was dancing, and Dice left my wedding early because the girl had dirty feet, and it upset him so much. A fucking chick with the dirty feet. What the fuck is wrong? I gotta leave because he was gone after like an hour because I couldn't take it. This fucking slob out there with her dirty feet.
Oh,
What's wrong with her? It's a wedding. He's going crazy. So he's still to this day that chick. He was going to put it on one of his albums, the chick with the dirty feet.
have you talked to him about Sebastian? Are they cool now?
I don't know.
I know that they have beef for a second.
Yeah,
But I don't know if it. I mean, imagine they'd work it out.
probably at some point.
Yeah, that would bum me out. Like to have the guy you open for. Oh, I guess take that back. That happened to me totally. What am I talking about? But I don't speak to Jay Moore at all.
Oh, right. You used to open for Jay,
Yeah, I
right?
used to open for Jay, and then we had a falling out, and I haven't spoken to him, and probably, I don't know.
You don't run into him at all,
No,
huh?
I almost ran into him at the store. He was running his new hour in the belly room, and I was there, and I wouldn't have a problem running into him. I'd probably say hi to him. I don't have any beef with him.
Right.
I don't dislike him. I don't hate him. It's just one of those things. I think we've just, there was a time where it was a little contentious, but it's been so long that I just
I'm sure if you guys ran into each other, you guys would be fine.
it would be fine. But we're so different. Like, it's hard now because I'm such a different man than I was when I knew him.
Right.
I definitely was a guy who listened to people and took advice, and now I'm someone who, like, I won't listen to anybody. Like, I'm almost defiant. I won't listen to anyone. I wonder if that's part of the process.
Right.
Like, if someone tells me something, I do the exact opposite sometimes.
That's good.
And so, but I haven't run into him. I haven't run into him probably, like, I guess it's been like 9 years maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I see him all, when I come out here, I'll do his podcast or whatever. I'll do a show with him. And no, I know him from New York, back from the Boston Comedy Club.
Time.
Yeah.
He seems really happy. I check out his Instagram, and he's like,
Yeah.
he's in Malibu. He's fucking on a paddleboard fishing every day. He's with his sons. Like, he seems really fucking happy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, good for him. And he's doing everything with the Lakers. He's a big sports fan.
I know.
So it's like, how the fuck can you not be happy if you're doing if you're following your passion?
Yeah.
But, yeah, I'd be interested to see his new hour. I bet it's probably good because he's gone through a bunch of shit.
It's always good when you go through some shit.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Is there any part of you when you were going through that divorce where you're like, this is going to be great?
In the beginning, no, but I knew there was something there.
Yeah.
I had one line, and I'm like, for like the first 3 months, I couldn't even come up with new material. It was really weird. I thought my career was over.
Really?
So I was not over, but I was so fucked up that I couldn't come up with any material at all. Because my mind was just, I was sleeping like 3-4 hours a night, and just got blindsided and all that, and then going through a divorce, all that shit. Wanted to try to get it done quick, and just get everything over. And I was just basically going up on stage and doing like greatest hits from like 5 years.
Really?
Like the best, because that's the way I was already booked at all these clubs. So and I just felt like, I'm like, this sucks. I feel like I'm mailing in. I'm not doing anything new. I'm not working on my act, but I just really couldn't come up with anything. And then one night at the stand on a Thursday night in front of like 10 people, I had this, I'm going to just start talking about it on stage. I had one line, and I started with that line. I started getting laughs. And I started riffing on stage, and I got laughs. And within 3 days, I had 30 minutes of material on it.
Really?
It just opened the floodgates.
How much of that personal stuff you've probably, I would say, inarguably, you're probably the one comic that's dealt with more personal issues with chicks than any other comic in the.
Yeah, and that's from going back to being shy, and then once I broke out, when I got the long hair, I started meeting all these strippers and wild girls, and I was always attracted to that.
Yeah.
But then at some point you got to go. You can't do this anymore because it's too much chaos in your life. You know, you can't focus on your career because you got so much chaos over here. I always thought, like, you know, if someone that's married and's got a family, it's gonna take away from your comedy. But no, and my therapist's like, no, that's stupid. He goes, no, the guys that are married and have a good family, those guys are more successful because they got that other side of their life completely calm. You know, and he goes, you got all this chaos going on, so you can't really focus. They could focus on their career. Yeah, you're going to have some little shit in your marriage, but you're not dealing with constant chaos and these crazy girls. They're not dealing with that, so they could focus on their work.
So wait, was there a point where you're cool talking about both of the things, right?
Oh, yeah.
Was there a point, because I'm sure there's people listening, one of the first times I ever reached out to you personally was when you wrote that article about suicide.
Yeah.
That was really moving because I've lost a lot of friends to suicide. Like, I've lost probably more than the average person, I would guess. I just got a text from one of my really close friends whose brother killed himself, who was the most recent, and that was the hardest because I was like, you're just like, fuck.
Yeah.
But is there a certain point where you start blaming yourself and you're like, am I doing this? Like, am I a part of the fucking problem? Like, I got one chick that cheats on me, one chick that kills herself. Like, what am I, like, where's my responsibility in this? Or do you have to?
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, I can't blame it on anybody else. I'm picking the wrong women. You know, I can't this is just bad luck. No, I know. You know, there was red flags there with both of them, and I just ignored them.
Like, what were the red flags? Like, because I definitely pick, I think my entire life I've picked a certain type of woman. Ones that make me feel comfortable in me. Like, where there's certain things where you're like, oh, this chick likes to fucking start fights at a bar. This is what I'm talking about.
Right. I always like that one too. I like the one that was dancing on the bar. The wild one that was dancing on a bar, but they're only fun for an hour.
Yeah.
And the rest of the 23 hours a day, you got to deal with them.
Yeah.
They got 1 hour window where they're fun, and then they're crying soon. Maybe in the car ride home.
That's so fucking brilliant, Jim. Because you're right. There are things that we like in women, and then when you see them the other 23 hours, you're like, oh, I don't know if I can be signed up for this.
Absolutely. Their phone's missing, their keys, their car got towed. They just lost their job. You know, they got pulled over. Their car got impounded. I'm like, what the fuck? But she gave a great blowjob in the car on the way home.
There's like, so many guys listening to this going, I'm with that girl. I'm with that girl. Their car got impounded. Their fucking keys are lost. Yeah, their phone's broken.
Everything. Just a complete mess. I forget where I live. I just moved in. I don't know where. What do you mean you don't know where? I don't know where I'm staying. Yeah, it's just... But that 1 hour is phenomenal. And I was always attracted to that crazy one.
Yeah.
But that comes with a lot of problems.
Yeah.
You know? So so I can't blame it on anybody. I can't go, I got bad luck. No, I just, you know, there are nice guys. I remember, like, when I cut my hair, when I had long hair, I would just get, like, you know, strippers and hairdressers, just wild hot chicks.
Yeah.
That just got paid in cash every day and just fucking throw it around. Yeah. And then all of a sudden I cut my hair, and now girls are like, that work in a bank are attracted to me. They're like, you want to go to brunch? I didn't even know what brunch was. I was 27 years old. I'm like, what the fuck is brunch? Why would I get up on Sunday morning early to go to fucking brunch? You know, and they you know, you have to go on like 6 or 7 dates with them. You know, to have. I'm like, this sucks.
6 or 7 dates on.
Yeah, you have to take them movies and dinner. I'm like, what the fuck? I go, you know, I wasn't doing any of this stuff. You know, we go eat at Wendy's or whatever. Like, we were hungry. These other girls. So all of a sudden, I'm like, I don't. These girls are boring to me.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, that's what I needed. You know, you needed that. But I wasn't attracted to that, so I always just went for the crazy wild one.
God.
You know, but then eventually, there's going to be problems.
When did you start noticing with your first ex, meaning the one that passed? When did you start seeing red flags with her?
Right off the bat. I mean, she had a, you know, just a troubled life. I always took women in. My mom did that. Like, she would just, you know, take people off the street, basically.
Really?
And bring them in, and they would be living in our house. Like, I feel bad for them. My grandparents got old. She took, you know, with 7 kids in the house. She was always like, you know, a savior, basically. So I just noticed that. So I always just felt bad. So she was, you know, had a tough childhood, you know, foster homes, adopted, molested, all of this stuff. And I met her, and she had nowhere to go. She just had a big blowout with some dude or whatever. I go, just stay with me for a couple of weeks. And I was living with Jim Norton at the time. I go, and, you know, just get your shit together and then go back to Pennsylvania, where she was from. And then she wound up staying. Like, I felt bad. I'm like, she's got nobody. She has no family, no nothing. You know, and I knew it wasn't the right move, but I felt bad for her. She had nobody.
But she was hot too. I saw a picture. She was so fucking hot. She was so fucking hot.
Oh, it was unbelievable. I mean, you know, and there was some, you know, hey, you know, can I bring some girls home for you? I'm like, yeah. So you overlook a lot of things when there's, you know, when there's threesomes going on. There was nights where she'd bring a girl home on a scale of 1 to 10, she'd be like a 7. She goes, look, she's too ugly for me. You can fuck her. Just go in the other room because I only want to be with hot girls. I'm like, really? She's like, yeah. I go, okay.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever like go to the movies and stuff? Or like,
yeah, we do some normal stuff because we live together.
Yeah.
Then we bought our own place or whatever like that, and we lived together, and we got a little dog and all that shit. So yeah, there were normal times, but it was pretty, you know. But I was like, man, this is unbelievable. This is like, you know,
this is too good to be true.
Yeah.
God damn.
Yeah. So you know, you overlook the red flags when that stuff's going on.
And what were the red flags like when you like? I hear the good things. What were the red flags where you're like, oh fuck, this is not normal?
Yeah, you know, definitely you could see, you know, depression issues and all that other stuff. You know,
I don't know if I know what depression is. Like, I mean,
when they don't get out of bed for like 3 days, and all of a sudden, you know, they take something way harder than they should. Like, let's say you have a bad set at the Comedy Store. Mm-hmm. You know, you bomb, but whatever, no big deal. And you come home and you can't get out of bed for 2 days. You think you're the biggest loser. Like, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
You're going to go, then tomorrow night you're going to have a killer set. You're just off, the crowd was, whatever it is. They take it way more personally and just, you know, you're like, what the fuck? Don't worry, just get up and go. It's going to be all right. You know, tomorrow's a new day. But, you know, for that. And I was never around that before. So I didn't even know. I'm just like, all right, maybe, you know, there's something else going on. And she, you know, she was adopted and she wanted to find a real mom. And then I said, look, I'll find your real mom. Let's go. We'll dig. Because we knew somebody that kind of knew her. But she was afraid to meet a real mom. She goes, what if she rejects me again? She already rejected me when I was a kid, when I was a baby.
Yeah.
And I didn't do anything. And now what if I meet her and she wants to reject me again? I go, look, let's go find her. We found her. We live in Orange County. So we flew out to California to meet her mom for the first time. I called her on the phone. The mom's like, I've been looking for you too, and all this shit. So we went out there and met her, and she had all these nieces and nephews and all this shit. So it was amazing. And I thought at that point that would help her. You know, now she got a real mom. She's out starting to have a relationship with her and stuff. But ultimately, even that didn't help.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, you know, she knew her for a couple of years. And, you know, you thought, but she had such a troubled childhood, you know, that, you know, just foster homes and, you know, molestation and, you know, being adopted is fucked up, you know, because you realize like, wow, somebody didn't want me. Like, what did I do as a baby? That's what she would just always tell me.
Yeah.
You know, I come from a family, my parents were married 35 years, you know, until my dad passed away, but a great relationship, 7 kids, friends, family, all that stuff. So it was completely, you know, I had no idea about that kind of lifestyle. You know, to me, I grew up normal.
Yeah, my wife's mom walked out on her when she was a kid and just left. And I think my wife, I can totally see my wife overcompensating motherhood. Like my wife gave up everything when she had kids and said, this is my life. I mean, she is so involved in fucking Girl Scouts that it bothers me. I make a joke when I see her on her computer, I go, working on Girl Scout shit, and the joke is lost because she goes, yeah. And it drives me nuts. I go, have more of a lot. Like you don't have to just do Girl Scout shits, but she drives them to school. I mean, she does so much shit, but I think it's because her mom bailed on her, and I don't think my wife's able to rectify that feeling in her head.
Well, that's good because she could have taken it the other way and bailed on her kids and walked away.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people do with that, whatever their parents did. That's why I'm always cautious now, being like, I'm not going to parade different women in my house in front of my son because I don't want him seeing that. Like, okay, that's what dad did. So he's just going to have all these different, you know what I mean? So I don't bring anybody around him, you know, that I'm dating. And if I do, I'm going to wait a while. So I don't want it to have different people coming in his life. He gets attached to this girl, and then she's gone, and then this girl, and then she's gone.
Oh, that's smart. I would never have thought of
but
that.
no, for your wife to do it, that's great. Because she's like, look, I know what the mistakes my mom did. I don't want to do that. No, it's good. Look, I'm telling you, I see so many women out there, and I'm around parents all the time. Just that you can find a good woman that just wants to take care of her kids and take care of her family. That's amazing.
Yeah,
it's amazing. I'm friends with these people on my block, and they have amazing relationships. Take care. It's all all about their kids, and that's what it is. Same with me. I knew with my son. I go, okay, I got to take care of this boy. You know, when I got divorced, I go, it's all about him. And I'm going to do everything I can. You know, and I'm not going to be, I always tell him, I go, don't worry. I go, I'm always going to take care of you, so don't ever worry about that. I'm not going to be an absentee dad. That's why I never cheated, because I knew, I said, oh, okay, if I stick my dick in some girl in Vegas and I get caught, I'm going to see my kid 2 days a week and every other weekend.
Yeah.
And why did he didn't deserve that. And then he's going to come there at 18. He's like, Dad, did you really need to do that? Didn't you have sex with enough girls in your lifetime? You needed one more?
Yeah.
Was it worth it? You know what I mean? Like, that's the way I always looked at it. So I was like, there's no way I'm going to cheat because I want to see him every day. So that was my motivation. It's funny how I left my wife out of the mix. I didn't want to do that to her. It was all about my kid.
By the way, that's me. I definitely will never cheat. I won't cheat, only because I woke up one morning. I said this once. I'm sure I've said this before. I woke up one morning. This is a really late to realize you don't want to cheat.
Well, first of all, Bert, I've seen your audiences. You have no shot of cheating. Everyone that comes looks like you.
Identical.
I know. I say that too. I go, I got 40-year-old guys wearing Rush concert T-shirts. Unless I want to fuck a dude wearing a Farewell to King shirt. I'm not cheating either.
We were married. We were married. We had Isla in Georgia. And we had Mona, the dog, and we had Gus, the cat, and we were all in bed. This is in our apartment. Isla was probably 2, and it was like a Sunday morning, and we were everyone's in bed, and we're giggling hard as fuck. We're laughing so fucking hard. And I thought, okay, like in a moment of clarity, I go, this is what it's about. This moment of us all being in the same bed. Like, I've been chasing that one moment my whole life probably. And I went, this is what it is. And if I fuck some chick, then I don't get to have this moment. Not even in the fact that if I get caught, my wife takes my kids and I lose half everything. It's the moment of clarity, of like pureness in my heart, where I go, I don't have a lie. I remember that's the big thing. It's like, I was like, I don't have a lie in this bed. Everything I love is in this bed. I'm pure to everything in this bed, and I'm never gonna fuck that up. And I've only turned down probably 2 chicks in my life. I don't get a lot of pussy thrown at me.
Right.
But one was fucking monumental. It was on Cowhead's cruise. Oh my God. To this day.
Well, of course, Florida, you know.
Yeah. Oh, and it was right, just my type. Blonde hair, big tits, looked like a stripper. And she said she was going to suck my dick. And got in the elevator with me and followed me to my room. And Cowhead's laughing hysterically. He's like, he's not going to cheat. He's not going to cheat. And gets to my door and says, let me in and I'll give you the best blowjob you've ever had in your life. And I said, you know what? It's been real fun. I appreciate that. Thank you. I feel very flattered, but I am married and I love my wife and I'm not cheating on my wife. And she said, then go inside and I'll be waiting outside this door until you change your mind. And you open that door. And when you open that door, no questions asked. I won't tell a soul. I'll give you the best blowjob you've ever had. And I was like, and I shut the door in the cruise and I just sat crisscross applesauce by the door and I was like, just go away, just go away, just go away. Murdered beers until I passed out. And at like 4 a.m, I woke up, opened the door in a panic, and she was gone.
Well, look, you got to look at it this way. If it did happen, it was in international waters, so it doesn't count.
Doesn't count.
Doesn't count. You were 12 miles out in sea. It's international waters.
Yeah, I need my wife to disappear. I think of the scenarios where it's okay that I cheat.
Like, look, you can gamble on that boat once you hit a certain spot in the water, and it doesn't count.
Oh. I would
no,
never.
no. It's better to like. What you're going to come in about a minute and a half,
so
and then it's going to be over
so quickly.
Right. So it's going to be a minute and a half, and then it's going to be over. Like, okay, that felt great for a minute and a half.
1 minute, then I got to deal with months and months of depression.
Well, okay. So then you did. Let's just say you did it. You tell your wife she wants to divorce you. Now you got to deal with some other dude being around your kids when she starts dating again. And there's some girl that you're dating who your ex-wife's going to hate, and your daughters probably hate because they know dad fucked this up. So now you bring some girl around that's really nice, but your daughters hate her because they think, you should be with mom. It's all this craziness going on, all for that one blowjob.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. And then money, and then this, and then, fighting back and forth. No, I want to do this. No, you do. I want to put them in this school. I want to put them here. Can I take them this weekend because I'm off? No, I have plans. And come on, let me just take, all of the shit. It's not worth it.
What was, how's the relationship with your ex?
It's okay. It's not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. We live like 15 minutes apart, and we just, We don't hang really. I mean, someplace baseball, I see her there or whatever. But it's not so bad. It took a while
Yeah.
to get there.
Is she
Yeah.
still with that dude?
Yeah.
For real?
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
I'll tell you a story off the air. I can't tell you on. It's just funny. It relates back to Dice. But she's still with him.
I remember hearing that on I think it was Opie and Jim,
Right.
and I was like, fucking. I was like, one of the more intense stories I've ever heard.
No, I know. I think Chad Zumach was telling me that you said you pulled over or
I
something.
pulled
'cause you were
over.
like,
It was
holy
like,
shit.
I was like, oh my god! Not to like spoil it for my fans, but I'm not going to make you tell it again. But it was like a real.
No, you could tell them. I don't.
Well, I don't remember the story verbatim, but like it was. All I remember is that it was a cop,
Yeah.
and I remember the thing that killed me was you confronted her. Did you have someone following her?
Yeah.
Wait, you tell the story. Tell the story the best in the most abbreviated version.
Basically, my wife was cheating. I felt something. She wasn't telling me, and I said, "Look, please, let's see if we can work this out. I know something's going on." She's like, "Look, there's nothing going on." I said, "Look, I'm gonna find out." She said, "Go ahead. There's nothing going on." So I said, "All right." So I called my friend up, and I said, "Look, I need someone to follow my wife because I think she's cheating." And then I busted her, through private investigators, and the guy wound up being a cop. And then there was a whole thing where some stuff was said, and I had to call his police chief up because he was a cop in the town where all my family lived, and they were like nervous that this guy was going to do something, whatever. So I called his police chief up, and next thing I know, there's a story in the New York Post that I'm trying to get this cop fired from his job because he fucked my wife and broke up my marriage.
Yeah.
So the New York Post calls me up out of the blue, and like Trainwreck was just coming out, and I had a part in Trainwreck, and they said, "Look, whatever press, we're doing some New York stuff, so they get, all these New York Post probably called Daily News wants to do a thing with the comedians that are in the movie, Amy's friends." So I pick up the phone, like, "Yeah, there's a New York Post." I'm like, "Oh, cool. I'm going to talk about. Yeah, I'm in Trainwreck. It's coming out." It's all. They go, "So we just want to get a thing about your ex-wife. So you called us police." I'm like, "What?" They're like, yeah, we're doing a story. We're running a story. We have all the information." Somehow the whole thing got leaked to the New York Post. So it's in the New York Post. The surveillance pictures of my wife and this guy coming out of a restaurant, all of this shit. And then it was, so Opie and Anthony bring it up, or Opie and Jim.
Yeah.
Because I was in there like 3 days later, and it was a big, it was a whole page story in the New York Post.
And this is like, I remember listening and going, "Oh, they're going to dump out of this at some point." Like, because
Right.
And you just kept going, and you were like 100%. That's one of the things that I say that we have in common that I respect in people is like, I'm an open book. Like, if you want to find out an answer, just ask me the question and I'll tell you the truth. Only because I talk so much, I don't know if I don't tell the truth, then I'm gonna get confused and fucking tell 9 different lies. So I just tell you everything I can. I'm an open book.
The same thing happened when my ex committed suicide. I said, "Look, I'm just going to say what it really was." I probably could have covered it up. I probably could have said it was an accidental overdose or whatever. I said, "No, let me just be honest with it. I don't want any more secrets.
Yeah.
It's just better to just say it, and then 3 days later, everyone's going to be on to something else. They'll talk about it, and then something else will happen in the news."
Yeah.
So I just said, just be honest. So that, basically, so what happened was some guy called in, Opie and Anthony, when we were talking about it, and saying, "Yeah, whatever." And he's like, "Dude, tell the truth. Your wife was fucking this 22-year-old cop from the gym, from the CrossFit gym. Why don't you tell the truth? What happened?" I'm like, "Yeah, all right, well, whatever." He's like, "I know the guy," or whatever. "I know them," or something like that. I'm like, "All right." And he mentioned the guy's name, and they cut that off the air, or whatever.
Cut that out, yeah.
And he's like, "Yeah." He goes, "Just be honest. They met." I'm like, "Okay, yeah, they did. All right, what do you want me to do?" He's like, "Yeah, that's fuck." I'm like, "Yeah." I go, "Look, I just want to, whatever. I just got to, to make sure my kid's taken care of. What am I going to do? Shit happened." And
Did you guys split custody?
Yeah, we got 50-50, 50%.
That's great.
Yeah.
But the one part that like stuck in my head, because I've been there, not in this scenario, but I've been to that moment, was when you were confronting her and her dad came out and was like, or was it your dad or her dad, and said, "Hey, what's going on out here?"
Her dad.
Yeah, and he was like, and you're like, "She's cheating on me," and you're like, "Jim, that's impossible. That's not." And you're like, I had a private detective follow her.
Yeah. Because they were in. He was in the car, and we were having an argument outside, because that's when I confronted her. And he came in. He goes, "What's going on? You guys gotta. You can't be." It was out front of my kid's school. We weren't screaming or anything like that.
Yeah.
I go, "Look, your daughter cheated on me, and I'm divorcing her." And he's like, "What? No, that didn't happen." I go, "No, I got pictures to prove it."
Yeah.
I go, "Yeah, I mean, she did." And then, It was a weird. So I'll tell this story because it's so fucked up. So 3 days later, I said, no, we're getting divorced. That's it. 3 days later, her father shows up at my house. That is her dad. And he goes, you know, you didn't have sex with my daughter for 6 months. What do you expect her to do? And I'm like, what? I go, what? I go, first of all, this is weird that her dad's saying that. He goes, what do you expect her to do? You did this on purpose. That you didn't want to have sex with her so she would go out and do this so you could divorce her and get rid of her. I go, are you fucking out of your mind? He goes, you didn't have, what kind of relationship is that? You didn't have sex with her for 6 months. What's she supposed to do? I go, she's lying. He goes, no, she's not. I go, she's lying. And he's in my face. And I go, you want me to be honest? He goes, you're lying. I go, last Monday night, I fucked her twice, and 12 hours later, she fucked that dude. She had 2 dicks in her in 12 hours, motherfucker. He goes, fuck you, and left my house and slammed the door.
Oh my God.
I had to. I said it right to his face because I thought he was going to punch me. And I'm like, look, we were having sex all the time. So it was a complete lie, but that's what she told her parents. And I was really close to her parents. They lived in my house for like a year. But I told him, I go, look, I had sex with her Monday night, then 12 hours later, she had another dick inside of her. That's what I said to him.
Oh, my God, that's got to be tough to swallow as a fucking...
I know. Well, I'm like, he came to my house, fucking knocks on my door, and he's in my face, and I'm trying to tell him, I go, look, your daughter's lying. That's not true. She's just making that up.
Oh, my God. Now, how do you rectify that in a relationship to raise a child? Like, did you at one point have to sit down with her and the guy and go... Or did you...
No, I've never met the dude. He won't meet me. He's afraid.
For real?
Yeah.
So you never even met the guy?
No, he won't come around. He's, he knows what he did. I got no problem meeting him, but he won't meet me. It's been like, what, 3.5 years.
Well, he's definitely dodging you. If it's
he all the time. He dodges me. He hides.
That's fucking so fucked up.
Yeah, I know. It's like, whatever, dude. Just be a man. It's like, whatever, It was a while. I'm almost glad now. I want to shake his hand. I'm like, good dude, you got me out of that fucking mess.
Yeah.
Looking back, I'm like, I'm glad. I go, she's your problem now. You know what I mean? Like, I would be like, dude, I told one of his friends, I said, this guy that knows me, I said, look, just tell him, just get this message to him that once she fucks you over, I want to have a beer with you. Yeah, I said, just tell him. I don't know if I got back to him or not. I go, I want to go have a beer with you.
When she fucks you over.
Yeah, when she fucks you. Because the ex-husband, her ex-husband, he kind of knew me. She was married before, and he was trying to get in touch with me when I first started dating to warn me. Like through Facebook, and she started making this stuff that this guy did this, don't talk to him. And I kind of knew him. And and she made up all these lies about him. I go, well, fuck that guy. I'm not going to talk to him. And then when my shit went down, I got in touch with him. He goes, dude, I was trying to warn you. I was trying to warn you. Like, I know, but she said you did it. Go, I never did that. I go, fuck. She got me.
That's amazing how girls can pit the guy they're dating versus the guy they dated who knows who they are. Like the guy, like that happened to me. There was a girl that I dated and other guys wanted to say, I'd watch out for that. And she was like, they were abusive. And you're like, I can't fucking talk to you.
Yeah.
And they're like, all right. And then you end up getting burned by them. And you're like, and they're like, told you.
I know. I'm friends with her brother. I'm still friends with her brother. We hang. They don't talk anymore.
Yeah.
And I always yell at him. I go, you didn't tell me about your fucking sister. I'm still mad. He goes, what was I supposed to say? I go, why didn't you warn me, motherfucker?
What was I supposed to say?
Yeah, he's like, wow, I'm going to say something about my sister? I go, you never warned me. I still going to hold that against you. I always just fuck with him.
So how do you rectify that relationship in raising a kid? Do you literally just let it blow over, or do you have to sit down and talk, or like so it happens, you've got the child, like what's the next step? Like that's where the rubber meets the road part.
You just, you work out a schedule when I got them, when you got them, and then you drop them off. You don't see them too much when the kids are in school. It's basically like, I got him in the morning, he goes on the school bus, and then in the afternoon she picks him up. So you really don't. So you don't even have a lot of interaction. And she has them most weekends. I have them early in the week, so we really don't even see each other.
Okay. Well,
so it's just, and there's nothing really going on. He's in second grade. What do you, there's really nothing to talk about. He just goes in and he fucking does his shit, and that's it.
Do you guys both do parent, like when it's parents' night, do you guys both show up?
You know, sometimes we'll both sign up like, oh boy, hey, how you doing? Hey, you know,
How you doing?
yeah. I remember like the first like 6 months after, it was like a kindergarten thing, and it was like the parents had to be there, and then they have to sit at a table, and then the teacher walked out of the room. It was our turn, and we're just sitting there for like 5 minutes. I'm like, what's going on? Yeah, I know. just silence. Like, yeah, it's good. You know, yeah. I can't believe the weather. I mean, it's like, man, this is fucking come. Please get that teacher back in the room.
God damn it.
But now we're cordial. I'm just like, hey, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? Good. You know, and all that.
Do you ever
shit.
think about
So,
writing a book?
yeah. No, there's some crazy shit. I mean,
Because your life experiences are like,
well, I do have a book out. Everybody is awful except you.
is it? Do you really?
Yeah.
Shut
But
up.
it's not more. It's been out. I put it out in February.
Oh, shut up. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's
Is it on Amazon?
It's in Barnes and Noble.
That's fucking. What do you write about in that?
It's more like ranting. I mean, ranting about different stuff, but there's some stuff about childhood and growing up and all that stuff.
Anything
but,
about Eminem?
Yeah, I did write a little bit about meeting him. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's fucking fascinating to me.
So that was insane. I mean, he was calling my house. Like, he was prank calling my phone on my
Dude,
cell
you were
phone.
the standout star from that. When Crank Yankers came out, you were the standout star. No questions asked.
Yeah.
Special Ed, was that his name?
Yeah, Special Ed, yeah.
What a fucking... I remember, I know I've told you this, but I remember where I was when I first heard it, and I remember I was doubled over laughing. I was in Vincent Nastri's office in New York Entertainment with where Barry Katz's office was, and Vincent was playing it, and he's like, dude, you gotta fucking hear this. Like, Vincent's, I will say this, do you know Vincent?
I don't know if I know Vincent. I probably was out of New York Entertainment by then.
He's a tastemaker, I believe. Like, he's got a really good sense of humor, and he would find stuff that was really funny, and he'd share it with you. Like, he turned me on to Desus and Mero. He showed me Desus and Mero one. You know Desus and Mero?
Yeah.
One time we're dropping our kids off at school. His kids go to school where my kids used to go to school, and he's like, "You follow Desus and Mero?" And I go, "Yeah, a little bit." And he goes, "Have you seen this video of the lady that runs her minivan into the bodega?" And I go, "No." And he goes, "You got to see this." And the line that had me killing was the guy starts videotaping, and Miro goes, "Shout out to the entrepreneurial Puerto Rican who decided to shoot this in landscape mode." And I just died laughing. Vincent, but he played that for me, and I was fucking howling. That was what was that experience like? Like, the whole...
It started because when I was living with Jim Norton, we had this little shitty place. And during the day, I would just have sets at night. If telemarketers called, I would record them and just fuck with them. I tried to keep them on the phone for like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And I was just bored, you know what I mean? I had nothing else going on. So I would just sit by the phone, and then I'd play the call for Jim later when he would wake up at like 5 o'clock at night or whatever, because he'd be up all night. But then I started doing that character. I'm like, these people are not responding. Like, they're okay with what I'm doing. I go, now I'm going to see if I can act basically retarded and see if they still stay on the phone with me. So I just started yelling, yay, yay, just like that. And I forget, like, Norton woke up one day, he goes, that thing is going to sweep the nation, that yay. He goes, I can't get it out of my head. He goes, it's so dumb. It's the dumbest thing ever, but I cannot get it out of my head. I'm telling you, that thing's going to be huge.
You've got mail. I've got mail.
Yeah, I got mail. Yay. It was so then, you know, cut to like 6 months. I put a CD out. I just make it up. I'm selling on my shows.
Yeah.
I don't have a record label, no nothing. And then I mail him that Howard Stern show, and he starts playing it. Like, the next day, he goes, who the fuck is this guy? Holy shit, he's funny. Rogan was in studio the first day he was playing it.
On Stern?
Yeah, and Rogan's
Really?
like, I know this guy. He's like, holy shit. He goes, we got to get him in here. That was when, like, they were having different comics come in and sit on the show.
Yeah.
And next thing I know, I'm in there like a month later. I'm sitting in on a Howard Stern show, and he's playing all my prank calls and that Special Ed character on my CDs. And Jimmy Kimmel and Adam Carolla are huge fans, and they hear the show. And like 2 months, my manager goes, hey, this Comedy Central wants to do this prank call show, and they want you on the show. And Jimmy and Adam are going to be, it's their show, and they're already doing the Man Show, so they're already guaranteed 6 episodes.
God.
And I'm like, man, I go, prank calls with puppets? I go, that's going to be awful. All I thought of was Norton, Rich Voss, Patrice, all those guys, and Bobby Kelly making fun of me that I'm on some show making prank calls with puppets.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm going to get shit when I go to the Cellar or Boston Comedy Club. And he goes, well, look, it's 6 episodes. I go, of course I'm going to do it. And then the fucking thing just took off.
I mean,
it was insane.
I don't think any of us will ever. I don't think anyone. I don't know anyone that will experience that kind of a fucking immediate fucking reaction. Like that must have been night and fucking day. Like
yeah, I mean, look, I went to featuring and you know, Funny Bones and Improvs to headline, and it's selling out like 5 shows on a weekend from that once that show hit. But people always thought I was bringing a puppet.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there was the first time we had the premiere in New York, we took pictures next to the puppet.
I remember that picture.
Yeah,
I
so,
know that.
So
I know that picture
so
very
they put
well.
it online. So the picture was online for the premiere, so all the comedy clubs would take that picture. You know, you special ed from Crankhangers coming, so everyone thought, and then would be outside of the club, outside of the Funny Bone, the Improv, or on their website. So people thought I was doing a puppet show. So there was kids coming to my shows.
Otto and George must have been losing their fucking mind.
Yeah, well, I was friends with Otto at the time, and he goes, "Are you gonna do a puppet show?" I go, "No, fuck no." I go, you do it the best, so I'm not even gonna. I go, no. I could have made easily $2 million in 1 year doing it.
If you had a puppet.
If I would have toured and did the puppet and did that for 45 minutes, I go, but I want a career.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, where am I going to go with this?
And now in retrospect, like, what if you had done the last 15 minutes of him responding to people?
I just couldn't. I was like, I'm friends with Otto. He does it the best, and my other comic friends will never let me down that I'm doing a puppet.
Otto might be the most unsung, like no one, I don't think anyone that listens to this knows Otto and George. Like knows them the way I got introduced to Otto and George through Jay.
Right.
I remember Jay brought me to his house, the one he used to live back in the hills, and he, I think my wife and my daughter came, and we went downstairs. He did 2 things. He showed me his handgun, and then he brought me into his private room, and we started watching Otto and George, and we might have sat there for an hour and a half watching Otto and George. And my wife was just, I forgot that I was anywhere. The fucking greatest.
There's a bunch of YouTube clips. If you've never heard Otto and George, a XXX ventriloquist, you got to check it out. It's unbelievable. It's an act that you could, I must have been in the back of the room 200 times watching. You can watch it over and over again.
What are some good Otto and George memories?
Right now, his wife, you know, he passed away like 4 years ago, is watching my dog. We're still close. We were
really?
neighbors, yeah. I lived right around the corner from him for a while.
What was he like?
He's a real quiet guy. Definitely quiet off stage, but just a genius. I mean, but you know, he had his demons. You know, he's addicted to crack at some point, and coke and all that shit, and would always go score after a show and cause problems. So you know, that really derailed his career.
Yeah.
You know, he just got it, but then he cleaned himself up at the end. You know, for the last like 10 years, and you know, legend. Every comic loved him. He was a comic.
Yeah.
You know, but just. You know, unfortunately, had passed away. But just a great dude, man.
How did he pass? Stroke?
I think it was a heart attack.
Heart attack?
Yeah.
Did he got clean, but he didn't go to the doctor and stuff?
Yeah, I think he just one day. I know he got like meningitis or something like that. Like a year before, they had to like emergency land a plane. He was up in Canada doing a gig, and he was in like he had to get a helicopter back to the United States. He was in the hospital for like 10 days and didn't think he was going to make it. So that was a year before he passed. So that might have had something to do with, what had happened. I think he was like 55, 56. He lived a hard life, though.
Yeah.
He did, but he was a great dude. He's a really nice guy. I just bring my dog over there. We both have little Yorkies. And we'd be walking them. He goes, look at it. He goes, if they saw us 2 comics walking these little 6-pound Yorkies, and I just go hang out over there, and stuff. It's a shame, though.
Yeah, he was really. I only heard one story. I forget who it was from, but they were partying and they had coke, and this was probably urban legend, but Otto's like they're all hanging, they're all doing coke, and he's like, hey, do you mind if I go get George? And they're like, what? He's like, do you mind if I go get George? And they're like, yeah, of course. So he goes out to the trunk of his car, brings in George, and George is like, this fucking cocksucker. And starts going off on the party, and George is talking.
Yeah.
I think that's fucking amazing.
No, he was, it's too bad, man. David Copperfield was a huge fan of his.
Really?
Yeah. Copperfield actually went to one of his shows, and he's like, he goes, look, man, you need a new puppet. That thing is all ratty, because he would just like have it in a duffel bag. It was all fucked up. So Copperfield goes, look, I want that puppet, because he collected puppets. I'm gonna build you a brand new George, so you can have a brand new one, but I want the old one. He's like, okay. So and he has it in his museum, Copperfield.
Really?
Yeah, Copperfield's a huge fan of his. So Otto does, like, remember he was married to Claudia Schiffer that supermodel,
Yeah.
Copperfield, for a little while. So it's like her 40th birthday, or it's Copperfield's 40th or 50th birthday, and she knows that Copperfield's obsessed with Otto. She hires Otto to do a private birthday party for Copperfield. So Otto says he's in his suite in New York City in his friggin', mansion, and it's just it's Copperfield's assistant, and Claudia Schiffer, the biggest supermodel in the world, and he's up there going, that wet pussy, yeah. So your pussy smells like hot garbage, and she's just miserable because she, and then his assistant's like, hey, David wants you to do that bit again about Madonna or whatever like that, and he would do the bit, and he just said Claudia Schiffer was so miserable, but she knew that Copperfield loved Otto.
Oh, that's
and it was
fucking
did it in front of
hilarious.
3 people.
Oh my God. I don't know if I could do that. I saw the video where he's like, when he's talking about picking up someone at the airport. You ever notice I want you to pick you up at the airport? Hey, can you pick me up at the airport, bring your sister so I can fuck her? Like, I'm going to fucking, remind me to look up Otto and George for this week's Open Tabs. I'll play some Otto and George. They did a really cool thing on line today. If it was comic, if you could steal a joke from a comic, like what are your favorite jokes from comics?
Right.
And I thought it was a really cool bit. Patton Oswalt did this one from this guy Joe Zimmerman, which is a really great joke. John Mulaney did that one. Patton Oswalt did Gary Goldman's state abbreviation joke. Did you ever hear that?
No.
Oh, it's a really great bit. It's like a perfect bit. Like, it's like the kind of bit like Jay Larson's bit about the receiving a wrong phone number. Have you ever heard that?
No.
So wait, what? Okay, those
I'm
are,
thinking of Otto's bit right now. Do you ever hear that joke about it? He goes, I'm on a plane, the Pope sitting next to me, and he's doing a crossword puzzle, and he goes, hey, what's a 4-letter word for a woman that ends in NT? He goes, aunt? No, oh, wait, how does it go? Oh, and Otto goes, aunt. He goes, oh. He goes, I wrote cunt. He goes, you got an eraser? He goes, the Pope wrote cunt. The Pope wrote cunt.
the Pope wrote cunt. The Pope wrote cunt.
Yeah, it's so funny.
What's a 4-letter word?
That for a woman that ends in NT.
You mean aunt?
He goes, aunt? Oh, yeah, you got an eraser? The Pope wrote cunt.
The Pope wrote cunt. The Pope wrote cunt. Oh. Who are other people that that you came up with that were really, really talented that just disappeared? Like, I say Otto, Otto didn't disappear, but he's like I would say he's he's a tragedy in this business.
Yeah.
That he didn't get bigger.
Yeah.
And I guess there was no real opportunity for him because when he was doing it at a high level but dirty, and there was no place for that.
Yeah, I mean, he did a couple little things. He did like Showtime After Dark or something like that, I think. And then he did Comedy's Dirtiest Dozen.
Yeah.
But other than that, yeah, because your options were HBO or Comedy Central, and Comedy Central wasn't putting them on.
No.
And HBO wasn't, they weren't doing as, they were doing
Belzer.
Seinfeld and Belzer and
Yeah.
Robert Klein and stuff like that. So he wasn't getting on there either. So he was real limited in the
I worked
to do TV.
Bob Levy one time.
Yeah.
It was they used to do this. I shouldn't tell this story.
The Blue Cheese?
No. We worked with Savannah Sampson. They used to do these triple X rated vivid video comedy shows.
Yeah.
And Bob Levy was in the green room, and there must have been 5 porn stars in there. I don't know if he was partying. I don't know if at the time. I don't know any of that. I won't say he was because I don't know. But I only I opened the green room door and he's like, "Get the fuck out of here!" And I shut the door and I was like, "All right, I guess green room's off limits, everybody."
No, he was partying.
Yeah.
Bob will tell you. Yeah. But I went on the road with him for a long time.
And then Savannah Sampson showed me her pussy. There's a picture of that on MySpace. Someone took a picture of her showing me her pussy.
Really?
Yeah. I wonder what she's doing now. Did you ever have sex with a porn star?
No.
I would love to have.
No, that would be great. I would definitely would too.
I remember Jim used to say he'd get his papers and then come out to LA and fuck porn stars. Like he'd get.
Yeah, because they would be on the radio with him, so he had a shot with them.
God.
But no, I would definitely would.
Yeah. So wait, how did Eminem find you through? Did he find you through Crank Anchors?
Yeah. We did one season. It wasn't getting good ratings. We did 6 episodes. We weren't sure if the show was going to get picked up. It was kind of on the it was on the fence because it didn't hit right away, the show.
Oh.
So in between that period, we're not sure. We hear that Eminem is a fan through the grapevine. Like I'm like, wow, really? Eminem is? And then like a week later, it's the MTV Movie Awards, and he wins a award. I guess it was for 8 Mile, and he goes up there and his acceptance speech is doing special ed.
Really?
The whole time. He's just going, yay, boo, yay, you go, lady. You know, just going for like 3 straight minutes, and that was it. And then he walked off. And I remember it was on like Entertainment the next day. They're like, what was Eminem do? Was that like a personal thing to his friend? What was he doing up there? Is he losing his mind? What was that? No one knew what it was.
And you knew what it was.
I knew what it was, and we all did. Kimmel and Carole were like, holy shit. And all of a sudden, they're like, no. And all of a sudden, they started getting out, it's Crank Anchors. And then we get a call like, hey, Eminem wants to be on Crank Anchors. He wants to be on that show. He watches with his daughter every week, and it's his favorite show. And he wants you guys to come to Detroit, and he wants to do calls with the guy does special ed. And I did another one, Bobby Fletcher.
Yeah.
So, and then all of a sudden, Comedy Central, all right, we're picked up. Absolutely, let's go. So, you know, in 3 days, I'm in a studio, in the Eminem studio on 8 Mile, doing prank calls with him.
What was his house like?
I didn't go to his house. We went right to his studio.
Just a studio?
Yeah, we went to a recording studio, because that's where we record the calls anyway, right
Yeah.
off the board.
What's Eminem like?
He's great, dude. He's a child. He's like Dice, just pulls pranks.
Really?
Loves it, yeah. I remember when I met his manager in New York like a few days before I went out there. I gave him all my CDs. I had these telemarketer CDs. I gave him like 3 of them. I had 3 out already. So I gave him them. He goes, yeah, Eminem's a big prank phone call fan. I want to give them to him. I see him come into the studio. I'm already in there. I'm just like, we're just messing around. And I see him walk in, and I see him through the glass. I'm like, holy shit. There he is. I'm like, this is fucked up. And I was a big Eminem fan. I'm like, all right, I got to be
huge.
I go, all right, I got to be, you know, this is the prime of his career.
Oh, this is
no one's
fucking,
bigger
yeah.
in the world. There's a rock, and I go, all right. I met Howard Stern before, and he was an idol of mine. I was calm in front of him. Everything's fine. I go, he's just a person.
Yeah.
And I remember he walks in, and he walks right up to me. He's just like, he goes, I can't believe I'm in the room with special ed. And I go, likewise. I can't believe I'm in the room with you. He goes, no, you don't understand. You don't understand. And we sat down for like a half hour, and he talked about all my prank calls. He goes, well, how did you do this? And when you said this one, and even the ones that I released on my own, he knew, plus the Crank Anchor shit. He's like, I'm obsessed, but you don't understand. I'm obsessed by you. It's insane. He goes, I know every one of your calls. Like, he would repeat them. He knew every line to them. And then next thing I know, he goes, come on, let's do some calls. And we were just riffing back and forth. Me and him just making shit up. Just dial a number out. We'll just figure it out.
And so how did that work? You guys just dial a random number?
Yeah, random number. Like we called a 99-cent store, I remember. And I was Special Ed, and he was my brother, Special M. And we just asked how much shit was over and over again. You know, how much? 99 cents. Yay, yay. You know, whatever. And just constant over and over again.
Holy shit.
Yeah, and then he's like, dude, he goes, I'm going to put you on one of my records. I'm going to put some of your snippets from your calls on my next record. I'm like, and his manager's like, you're okay with that, Jim? I'm like, of course.
Wait, did they make it on?
No, they never did.
Oh.
Like, he didn't put one out for like another year, but he wanted to. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, of course. I'm like, this is unbelievable. And then we went to dinner with him that night. And then like 3 months later, we did the MTV Music Awards together.
Really?
Yeah. He's like, I want to do a bit where Special Ed, I beat up Special Ed. Because I guess the year before, Triumph the Insult Dog went in the crowd and was fucking with Eminem, and he got mad.
Yeah.
So the next year, the bit was, hey, he's friends with this puppet. He went to puppet therapy, and he's got a new buddy. And I'm there with Eminem. I'm under the podium. I'm doing the voice. The puppeteer's doing the Special Ed, and Eminem standing right there. So we had to rehearse. He was in town for like 3 days.
Holy
and shit. So I remember we rehearsed, and then his manager goes, Eminem wants you and Special Ed at dinner tonight. I go, I can't bring the puppet. He's like, what do you mean? He goes, he wants the puppet there. I go, no. I go, there's only one puppet. Comedy Central's not going to let the fucking puppet go. They need him for tomorrow night. There's only one Special Ed puppet. And he's like, I remember him going over and telling me, he goes, all right, he wants you. He goes, well, he wants you to at least do the voice for him at dinner. I go, of course. I'll fucking sit in his lap. And then we were just sitting there, and like next to him, like 2 little kids, just fucking with the waitress, doing bits for my album and stuff like that, ordering a Special Ed.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you good with being around celebrities? Like, do you?
Yeah. It took a while. I mean, Dan Marino's another one. I work with him on Inside the NFL. I'm a huge Dolphin fan. So I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
I'm fucking, you know, I did a season on there, like, you know, as a comic doing bits, football bits and shit like that, and he was on there. And I was a huge Marino fan. I'm still friends with him to this day, but that was another one. I'm like, fucking damn.
Dan
This guy
Marino's
made my life.
Dan Marino might be, because I grew up in Florida, that might be, in my opinion, that's, I mean, it's hard to say bigger than Eminem, but like Dan Marino's fucking massive.
Massive. And I was a huge Dolphin fan, still am.
Yeah.
So he was like my whole life.
I have a picture of my dick that I photoshopped, where I just made it like really fucking massive, and I used to show it to people, and like just ridiculous. So I'm doing Paul and Young Ron. It's their final show, right?
Right.
Young Ron, they're out of West Palm.
Yeah, no, I know.
No,
those
no,
guys.
I'm
Yeah,
saying
Ron,
that to
Ron.
people listening.
Okay, yeah.
Young Ron's retiring. It's
Yep.
his final show. It's right before Christmas, and that's it. And it's a going away party for Young Ron. And I show this picture of my dick to here. I'll show it to you real quick. It's aggressive. It's aggressive to say the least. Here, this is it. so I showed it to Jim Norton, and he goes, "Was your dick attacked by bees?" And so I show it to Paul and Young Ron, and they start laughing, and they're like, "That's not real. That's not real." And I go, "No, it's real. Is that big?" And they're like, "Are you kidding me? Is that big? You've seen other guys naked, right?" And I go, "No, I'm embarrassed about mine, so I definitely don't look, and I don't get naked in front of people." And they're like, "That is not your dick. That is not your dick." And out of nowhere they go, "Ladies and gentlemen, Dan Marino's here." And Dan Marino sits down next to me, and without missing a beat, I go, "Dan, you spend a lot of time in locker rooms. What do you think about this dick?" And he goes, "Oh my God." But yeah, that's my claim to fame with Dan Marino. What a fucking legend.
A legend. And a great dude, man.
How did you meet him?
Well, because I got the gig on Inside the NFL.
Oh, yeah.
On HBO. So they had Wanda Sykes was too busy. She was doing it for a while. Her career started taking off, so they needed another guy, someone else in there to do bits. And Dan was working on the show at the time.
God.
So this was the year, so I went up doing a bit at Marino's house. We went down to Florida. I pretended remember when Ricky Williams quit football to go smoke pot with Lenny Kravitz?
Yeah.
So I did a bit where I dressed up like Ricky Williams, went to go knock on Dan Marino's door. Because, Ricky had the visor, and I put the dreads on, and I wore all the white stuff so you could. So I dressed up like Ricky Williams and knocked on Dan Marino's door, his actual house in Miami. He agreed to do it with a bong and a football. And I go, Dan, I want to get back on the team. Can you throw me some passes? So I'm catching passes from Marino in his driveway. I have a bong in one hand, and he's throwing them like 100 miles an hour at me. And he breaks the bong. And I'm like, "You broke my bong." He's like, "You got to get out of here," or whatever. But I was catching passes with Dan Marino. I didn't drop one like he was warming up. And Marino loves to show his arm off.
Really?
He loves to throw like 100 miles an hour.
He's still got a rifle?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And he used to throw those Rock and Jock. Remember those Rock and Jock games on MTV? Like those rappers? He would throw like 100 miles an hour at like Nelly. And like, "God damn," like that, just to show. He goes, I just want to show you my arm off. So he was fire, and I didn't drop one of them. He goes, "This motherfucker." He goes, "Damn, you haven't dropped one." I go, "I've been waiting 20 years for this. No way am I dropping one." But so we did a whole bit with him where I was smoking pot. I pulled to Dan's house in a van. There's all pot smoke and shit like that. And I just always kept in touch with him. I knew, so, and he came to my comedy show like 2 years ago in Florida.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I haven't really had any celebrities come to my shows. I don't think at all. I mean, the Mickey Gall was probably the biggest one as a fighter.
Right.
Like, but I mean, I'm sure there's other people that have come, and then like there was some Houston Astros pitcher that was at my show in Houston, but I know who he was, so I kind of was like, eh. But like I haven't. Maybe I've had some celebrities. I had Scott Stapp from Creed come to one of my shows.
Eminem was going to come to one of my shows at one point. Yeah. I got hired to do Eminem's birthday party to roast him.
Really?
Yeah.
I am not good at that shit.
No, and I wound up not going up because I was petrified. It was in like a rock club in Detroit, and everyone was up there like freestyling. There was a DJ up there, and everyone's going up, taking turns. They're having a blast. Eminem's going up there fucking around. At one point, I was supposed to be the comic to do some comedy and roast him. And I'm friends with his management. They flew me out there. I go, "Look, I don't even want any money. Just fly me out there. I'll do it for free." Like, "You sure?" I go, "Yeah." I mean, I'm hanging out with Kid Rock. Kid Rock was there, all these dudes, and I'm like petrified because everyone's having a good time. And I'm like, "This is not going to go over.
Yeah.
This is not going to go." And the manager's like, "When do you want to go on?" I go, "A little while, man. Everyone's having fun up there." It was so packed that I hid from him the whole night, and I never went on.
I don't blame you.
I never went on. I would hide the whole time. I was like, I don't want to be, because I was having such a good, for me to just stop everything, the music and everything, and go up there. It was definitely, and I remember at the end of the night, Eminem's like, he goes, so what, you going to roast me up there? I'm like, yeah. He goes, what were you going to say? I go, I'm not telling you. He goes, no, tell me what you're going to say. I go, I ain't telling you. I'm going to save those jokes. He goes, that's fucked up. That's fucked up. I go, I didn't do it. I go, no, I had some good shit. He goes, damn. He goes, you're lucky you didn't do it. I might have kicked your ass. I'm like, yeah, whatever. But no, but he would call my cell phone. I was saying that before. Like he loved the special ed character, so he had my cell phone. He got it from his manager, and he would prank call me, and doing special ed. And it would come up like out of area, and I knew it was him because I knew how he did it. He was just a little off, but I didn't want to tell him, like, Eminem, I know it's you. The fuck are you doing? Because I want him to keep calling me.
Yeah.
So I pretend I see him out of area. I go, hello, and he's like, hey, you go, lady. You like that? I'm like, who is this? I go, this is lame. You suck. I go, real, give me another one. That's terrible. That's not even good. Meanwhile, I'm like, holy shit, it's fucking Eminem. He did it for like a year.
For real?
Yeah. He would call my phone probably like once every 3 weeks.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
I would probably. So I'm not good at making friends with celebrities because I want to be their friend, but I want to be their real friend. But then I have a weird intimacy issue where I go, if you want to be my friend, what's wrong with you? Like I don't think I have any celebrity friends.
Well, you got to know you keep your distance. You know,
I can be friends with comics, but even still, like, I mean, like, I don't like. I think I have to know you. I don't know. I'm not good with that shit.
Well, I don't know. Like Dice is, in the beginning, I didn't know if I was going to be bothering him or not, and stuff like that. But you just kind of like, all right, that's just a regular person. Just don't bug them too much, and don't, call them about stupid shit or text them about stupid stuff.
Yeah.
Leave them be. They got a life going on. They got a million things going on.
I think you forget that it's like you send a text and then you go, well, they didn't reply to me, and then you forget, oh, I've got a million texts sent to me that I never replied to.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, oh yeah, I read it. Oh fuck, I'm sorry, I forgot.
Yeah.
And there's nothing worse than getting someone to reply back and be like, are you too good to text back? And you're like, oh my God. The best is fighters, MMA fighters. They don't fuck around. If you don't text them back, they start saying stuff that is like,
oh really?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I remember Tate Fletcher texted me one time, and he texted me, and he's like, hey man, something, I forget what it was. And I didn't reply back, and he texted me again, and I was like, I read it, and I went, oh, I got to reply back. And then like the next day, he's like, I'm starting to get feelings about these texts, and you start going, oh yeah, that's right. This is a fucking man who's saying, hey man, I'm trying to talk to you.
Right.
Like I'm not some bitch. Fucking reply to me, or I will, and you're like, oh sure thing, Tate. Like Joey Diaz is like that. You don't fuck around with Joey. If Joey won't text, but if he calls. And he knows that he won't leave a message. If he calls and you don't call him back, he gets fucked. I've had Joey bitch me out for not calling him back.
Well, I know he doesn't like the text. Like, he knew I was coming to L.A.
Yeah.
So he direct messaged me on Twitter. He's like, hey, man, you're in L.A. I want you to do my podcast.
Did you do it yet?
Yeah. Well, no. Tomorrow I'm doing it. But he goes, call me back. And I know he doesn't like the text. So I was, I'm more of a texter.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I know I need to actually make a call to Joey.
You got to call Joey.
So I called him. Yeah, we talked for a few minutes.
What's up, cocksucker?
Yeah,
what's up, Tarzan?
Fucking, you see any good shows? All right, we'll talk about Judas Priest when you get on the show.
Oh, my God.
I mean, me and Joey were at the same concerts like back in the day when we were teenagers. We just didn't even know each other. We were at the same shows.
So you going? What are you doing what are you out in LA for?
Just doing a couple of shows.
Yeah.
Doing with Sam Tripoli. We're doing.
Oh, that's right. You're doing the show in San Diego.
Yeah, we're doing San Diego, and we're doing LA. His comedy room out here.
Are you there tonight?
No, Thursday, Sycamore Tavern, and then tomorrow at the Comedy Palace.
What are you doing tonight?
Tonight I'm doing a set at the Laugh Factory.
Okay. I'm at the store tonight.
Yeah, I'm going to come over there afterwards.
Yeah, I'm doing 2 shows. I only have 1 good joke. I have a new joke that I wrote in a dream last night. I had a dream about a joke last night that made me laugh, and I was like, I'll try it tonight. But I'm doing the new material show, which is the fucking best.
Yeah, they do it in New York. I haven't done it yet. They do it around the corner from the cellar. But no, I love doing stuff like that. I don't like doing a club on a weekend where I know I got to kill.
No.
Because I know I could do that stuff. Like, that's fine. I want to work out shit. You know what I mean? Like, I'll do half of my stuff that I know works, and I'm going to do other half. I'm going to take a chance. To me, it's a wasted set. I know on the road, of course, you have to do it.
The way I like working the store is like I don't want to be greedy. I know that this is probably the wrong way to look at this, But I look at it and I go, I got a set in the belly room and I got a set in the main room tonight. I'm not going to go and cock block someone from getting a set in the OR. I don't need to work out 3 times in a night. I mean, yeah, it's definitely better for me, but at the same time, it's a point of diminishing returns where it's like, I know that, like, if I have a joke that works in that new room, then I'll try it in the main room, and so then I'll take it on the road this weekend in Columbus. Like, I don't need to do 3 sets and then take a set from a younger kid who's trying to get up at the end of the night. He won't get my spot, but he'll get a spot at midnight.
Yeah.
And so part of me, like, I did 3 sets recently, and I just felt. I actually did 4 sets, and I felt guilty. I felt like what am I doing? I'm hogging all the stage time. I don't need all the stage time. Like, I can write a joke and get it up and running pretty quickly. I just want to hang out. I want to do Tripoli's room. I want to hang out with Tripoli. I want to, say hi to everyone, bump into people. So.
No, I'm the same way. I don't usually do more than 2 sets in a night when I'm in New York. I don't run around. I'm like, 2 is good enough. I don't want to, I do. I want to hang too. I just feel like, no, shit, now I got to do another set in an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And it's always in the back of your mind.
I haven't worked at the Laugh Factory. I worked at the Laugh Factory once in the last couple of years. It was a great show.
Yeah.
You forget how great that room is.
Yeah, I haven't done a set there in a while, in a couple of years.
It's a great room. It's just a fun crowd that's usually, I think, a little younger, a little less savvy than the store. I think the store is a little bit of a more discerning palate. I think you can get away with stuff at the Laugh Factory that you probably couldn't get away with at the store. I think. I don't know. But yeah, the Laugh Factory, I did a show with Jeremy Piven and Russell Peters there, and it was fucking awesome.
Nice.
And you forget.
The Laugh Factory, when I was going back to that story with Dice, meeting Dice and doing the Louis Anderson Comedy Showcase, my manager that night, or the first night, or the next night or whatever it was, I got a set there to run my set at the Laugh Factory that I was going to do on Louis Anderson. On a scale of 1 to 10, I had a 0. A 0 for like 8 minutes. Not one laugh.
Yeah.
And my manager in the crowd, and I'm taping the next night, and he's like, dude, he goes, maybe we have to change up your set. I'm like, no, I'm going to stick with it. He goes, it was my first set ever in Los Angeles. And I'm like, holy shit, I was all nervous the next night. I'm like, God. And then I realized I'm watching guys work out their Tonight Show sets, and they don't usually do well in the comedy club, and you see them the next night, and it kills on TV.
What's one of the biggest mistakes is that, like, just because the set does well in the club does not mean it does well on TV or on... My perfect example of this is I did Premium Blend in, like, probably 2000, maybe? 2000? Me and Tig Notaro. And Tig goes first, and I'm telling you, it was probably one of the few times in her life that she's ever eaten a dick.
Right.
I say that figuratively.
Right.
And, she was so bad, and she knows that I love her. I'm not talking shit. I think she would even say it did not go the way she anticipated. I go up, and for 1,300 people, I murder. I have such a great set. I come off humming. I'm like, that's how it's done. That's how it's done. And then sure enough, fucking watch it on TV, and Tig was destructive. Tig's set was so good because she took her time with it, and she played to the camera and not to the fucking bunch of college kids who maybe weren't cool with lesbians yet.
Right.
And she just fucking killed it. And my set looked panicked and loud and and anxious and just like, what's up, motherfuckers? Like, just
right.
And I mean, I watched it. My buddy Eddie watched it, and he's like, it seemed better in the room, right? I'm like, yeah, it did, yeah. Fucking asshole. But
my first TV set ever I'm doing comedy 3 years. MTV has a comedy show, so I'm booked on the comedy show, and they go, look, we want you to go down to Florida spring break when Pauly Shore was doing his Pauly whatever, right?
Oh, yeah.
So they go, this is 1994, I think, or something like that. So they go, we want you to do a bit. Pauly wants to do a bit where he's in front of his crowd outside in Daytona Beach, and you start heckling him in the front row. And he goes, hey, man, well, leave me alone. What? Oh, you think you're so funny? Why don't you come up here and tell some jokes? See how funny you are. So I go on stage, and the crowd's supposed to laugh at all my jokes, like way over, sell the jokes, and laugh really hard. And Paulie gets mad, and he throws me off the stage. It's like, all right, yeah, I'll do that. Absolutely. I'm going to have spring break. I go down there, and right before we're ready to film it, the producer goes, no, we're not going to tell the crowd he's a real comic. And Paulie goes, no, you got to tell them. This is my audience. They're fanatics. They go, he's going to get killed. They're not going to laugh at anything. They go, no, it's going to be better if we don't tell them. We're not going to tell them during the commercial break. Paulie goes, no, you got to go. Don't just go out there. So I go to my set, go to the front row. I heckle them. I bring them on stage. By the time I get 3 seconds through my joke, the whole crowd is booing me. And I'm just fumbling my lines. I'm like, so the other day I was at the bar and I can't even get it out because I'm getting booed. And they're chanting, we want Paulie, we want Paulie. And I'm like, I get like one half a joke, and Paulie just goes up, get this guy off the stage, you loser. And he just pushes me off the stage, basically like that. So we get off the stage, Paulie's freaking out. Paulie goes to the producer, I told you need to tell him. They go, don't worry, we'll sweeten it up. You know, we'll put some laughter in when it airs. It'll be fine. We'll make it look good, like he did really well, and the bit will work. Don't worry about it. So Paulie feels really bad. It's the first time I met him. He goes, hey, dude, come to the clubs with me tonight. He goes, I'll make it up to you. Don't worry about it, man. We're gonna, you know. Meanwhile, the show airs the next week. They added booze. They added booze. I got booed off stage on national TV, on MTV in its prime, 1994, basically.
God.
And it made the best of spring break, so it was on constantly, like my bit. So it was just, it must have aired 80 times. And Norton, of course, and like Bob Levy and all those guys, like they had it on tape, and we would just watch it over and over again because you're like, I just said, I'm sorry to be, just babbling because I didn't know what to do. I'm like, I'm getting booed. This is fucked up. And it made the best of spring break.
Oh. How fucking painful.
It was so, but when it aired, I was taping my set. The next day, I was filming my first it was like some comedy show, or a stand-up show. And I said, okay, man, I go, my career is going to be over if I don't do well on this set tomorrow night, doing regular jokes for the crowd. And I killed, and I got a college age in New York Entertainment, and I started making all this money from that set on MTV.
Really?
But that motivated me.
Wait, the set you did on MTV, was that the one they did out at the beach? Do you remember?
I did that one too.
I remember Bobby Kelly did that.
Yeah, that was Jim Brewer. Jim Brewer.
And it's like, did you do it on the beach to no audience?
No, there was some audience there.
But it was on the beach.
Yeah, it was on the beach. Yeah, I did that. That was a few years later. That was like 99 or 2000 or something like that.
Holy
But
shit.
So the first set ever where I got booed off the stage.
God damn it.
And then Norton, of course, they were trying to, I can't find the tape because they wanted me to bring in an Opie and Anthony so we can dissect what went down. But I had this real long hair and shit like that. But Paulie felt really bad. Like, he was a good dude. He took me out to all the clubs. He's telling all the girls, this is a new VJ starting next week. I'm like, oh my, cleaned up. Cleaned up.
Paulie's a fascinating guy. I'm interested in that guy.
He was great. Like, he said, dude, I'm going to take care of you this weekend, man.
His
Just
Rogan
hang with me.
appearance was fucking amazing.
Yeah.
One of the best Rogan appearances I've ever heard. And it was short. Like, he was, I don't think he did 3 hours, what you'd expect with Rogan.
Right.
But he talked about wanting to be a movie star again, how he misses it. And it was really like, no one's ever honest about shit like that.
Yeah.
Like, I said one time, like they said, they were talking about movies, and I was like, and I was said in a meeting, I said, I don't really know if I want to do movies. I'm not that people are breaking down my door, but I don't know if I even want to go out for the auditions because I don't really care, I guess. And they were like, don't ever say that to anybody. And I was like, but that's how I feel. Like, I like what I do, and I like putting out content, and I like making stuff. And I like shooting stuff. But like, I think I get depressed when I'm on a movie set. Like, I just feel like I'm wasting my time. And they're like, don't tell that to anybody. And I was like, why? Can't I just be real?
Yeah. And
like, why can't I just do what I'm good at or what I like to do? I actually had this conversation with Burr today. Some meeting I had, and someone's like, we like what you do. Would you want to host a show? And I said, well, I like what I'm doing now because it seems to be working. And Burr lost it. He goes, yeah, as opposed to the shit that's gotten him to the meeting with you right now, let's change it all up and do brand new fucking shit. That's the problem with this fucking business. And it's true. It's like the stuff that you excel at, why not just focus on that shit?
Yeah.
It's like, thank God Chappelle just does stand-up. Like,
No,
I love that.
I know. I think he knew that. And look, Joe Rogan just does his thing. He's its own business, and he's like, I don't have to deal with anything. You know what I mean? Because it's almost like getting a relationship. Like the industry sees you, sees what you do well. Go, hey, we want you because you do this well. And then a relationship, like a girl changes you 6 months in, she completely changes you. No, don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
No, I don't want you to do that. Don't drink. Don't whatever. No. I want you this way. You're like, wait a minute. But you were attracted to this. And that's what the industry does. They take all your weapons away. Like, no, this is what I'm good at.
Yeah.
I don't want to do this because I'm not that good at that.
I feel like I go, this is going to sound really horrible, and I apologize if this offends anyone, but I look at actors, like just actors sometimes, and I go, I don't know if that would fulfill me creatively to just say what people tell me to say. Like what fulfills me means like makes me whole, like keeps me moving forward is not fame. I have no interest in fame. I have an interest in coming up with a joke and then seeing if it works, and then once it works, kinda making it better, and then my real payoff, like the biggest payoff I've had all fucking year, was Sam Tripoli last 2 weeks ago going, man, you're in the pocket. You're really doing great stuff. Like, I really think that, like, and complimenting me about the stuff I'm working on. And I was like, in my head, I was like, I don't know how to over-thank Sam for this, because I don't want to, like, I just want him to pay his compliment. I don't know how, but if I could share with him how this is making me feel, this is why I got in the business, so that my peer would look at me and go, you're really doing great stuff. You're really killing it right now. And I'm like, I've wanted this my whole fucking life. I've wanted anyone to tell me I'm doing good stuff. Like, this is all I've ever fucking wanted. So I don't know if like just repeating people's lines would fulfill me.
Right. But in that case, like actors could be looking at us, they go, you're doing 3 shows in Tampa on a Saturday night in front of a bunch of drunks.
Yeah.
Like, is that fulfilling? And you're meeting them afterwards and like, take a picture. I don't
lick your nipple?
Yeah, can I do that? You know what I mean? So they're like, what is that what you're doing? You know,
yeah, but I had this one girl lick my nipple in Houston.
Really?
She sucked on my nipple in line and did it without asking, and just did it. But latched on so perfectly, and it knocked the wind out of me, like almost like a first kiss. And I went, they're never gonna get that.
Well, they're never gonna get this either. I remember I'm selling merchandise after a show in Chicago, me and Don Jameson, and this girl goes, she buys like a DVD or something. She goes, I go, you want me to sign it? She goes, yeah. Can you sign it to the Blowjob Queen? And I'm writing. I'm like, yeah. What is it? What's the Blowjob Queen? She goes, I'm known to give the best blowjobs. And I'm like, I go, any girl that says that, they're really not that good.
Yeah.
And she goes, no, I'm the best. And she had some friends there. I go, she goes, no, everyone knows she's the best. And I go, no, you're not. She goes, no, I am. I go, prove it. She goes, well, how can I prove it? I go, all right, well, let's go in the manager's office and give me a blowjob right now. I'll let you know. And she's like, right here? Yeah. And meanwhile, there's a line like 20 people. The show just ended. Yeah. Want to get merchandise from us. She goes, yeah. She goes, right here. I go, see, you're full of shit. You're not good, even good at it. She goes, let's go. And I just told everyone online, I go, look, I'm going in the office. She said she gives great blowjobs. If you guys want to wait, I'll be out probably within 5-10 minutes. If you guys want to wait, get shit signed. And the crowd's like, whoa. And they're all like cheering. And I go in the office. She gives me a blowjob. I come back out. I have my arms up like Rocky. I walked out. The place is going nuts. I'm like, and you can't get that as an actor. I walked out. I'm like, phenomenal. Who's next?
Was it a
what
good
do you want to
blowjob?
No. No. But I didn't tell her. It was like a 7 on a scale of 1 to 10. It wasn't great.
Yeah.
I knew it wasn't going to be. But I didn't say, yeah, that was okay. I'm like, wow, you definitely live up to that name. Now give me the $10 for the DVD.
There's one girl that lives in Orlando that gives blowjobs. I want to say her name's like Blowjob Betty or something. And that's a picture of my dick. And I wish I could remember her name. I think it's Blowjob Betty. And she claims she's amazing at blowjobs, and she sucks anyone's dick. Like, she's had a lot of dicks in her mouth. She's friends with Mike Busey. You know Mike Busey?
No.
You should meet him. You should definitely meet him. You'd have a blast out of the Sausage Castle.
Yeah.
But he introduced me to her, and we were with a group of friends. I won't be specific with names. And one of my friends is like, I'd like to take her up on that blowjob. And I was like, and she's with her husband. Her husband's like, no, she's the best blow. Give her a blowjob, honey. And he's like, I kind of want to get one, but I think you guys are going to look down at me. And all our friends are like, oh yeah, we're definitely going to look down at you. We're definitely going to look down as that man watches that woman suck your dick.
Oh, he has to watch?
Oh yeah,
that's a weird.
I think that's part of the gig. I don't even know. I've seen pictures, I've seen videos of this girl sucking dudes' dicks in parking lots, and like they're lined up. Like she sucks a lot of dicks.
Oh, the guys are lined up.
I'll find out her name.
Wow. She's in Orlando?
Yeah, Mike Busey.
I haven't done the improv there in a while.
I think oh fucking.
But the husband has to watch.
I don't know. Why don't I not have Mike B? Oh, here he is. I don't want to call him. Oh, there we go. What's the name of the girl that gives all those blowjobs that you're friends with? Mike Busey's interesting. He's related to Gary Busey, but
he's not a comic.
No,
oh, he lives in Orlando.
Lives in Orlando. He has this place called the Sausage Castle, which is a house that he rents and pays for, and then he has all his, I'd say, misfit toys in a kind way. Like they're not bad people and they're not broken. They're just, you know, girls with, like, one girl's a little person, one guy's like 600 pounds, a lot of really hot chicks. He's got Busey's Beauties, and they all kind of, they're doing a tour right now. They're live on tour, and they do like a live show. They have like musical acts go with them sometimes, but for the most part, it's almost like Jim Rose's circus,
right?
A little bit, not as much, but I think he makes a living off of his Snapchat. He has a private Snapchat, and crazy shit goes down on his private Snapchat. And he's, when you party with him, Jenny Jizz is her name.
Jenny Jizz. Only in Florida.
He's a Florida staple. Like he's in Louisiana right now. As a matter of fact, I know that because I follow him on Instagram too. But he's a fascinating guy. You got to party with him when you go. Just go and I took my whole film crew from Travel Channel out to his house for a night, and they're blowing up bombs and shooting fucking machine guns, and just real craziness happens. Right. And he's just a very sweet guy.
Yeah.
He's a very sweet guy.
I'd definitely hang with him for a night.
Well, we should wrap this up. We did 2 hours.
Is it?
I think that's sufficient. I think we should definitely talk about the half marathon.
Oh yeah.
That was one of my favorite. That's one of the hardest I've ever laughed when we were walking. Do you remember we were walking and we were talking about molestation? And I was like, yeah. I don't think I've ever been molested, but I know one time I got a concussion and they had to feel my testicles in the middle of the night. And you go, yeah, they don't do that for concussions.
Did you ever use that? You said you were going to try to use that on stage. No.
I brought it up once and it creeped everyone out.
Yeah. It's like, tough to pull that off.
It was like, oh. Are you opening up to us too soon? But that was great. We went and we did Cowhead, right?
Yeah.
And then I said, I'm running the half marathon. And you're like, I'll do it. And me, you, and Galvin.
Yeah, well, you asked me on the air. You were playing at the Improv. I was playing at Side Splitters.
Yeah.
And we were both on the radio at the same time. You asked me on the air, you want to run this half marathon? I'm like, yeah, all right, I'll do it. Because you lured me in. You go, look, there's beer at the end.
Yeah.
We're going to drink. At the finish line, we're going to go drink.
Yeah, and we did.
Yeah, and I'm like, all right, I'm in. I never ran a marathon before. I'm not a runner. So, and I just went out and I bought a whole brand new outfit. You're not supposed to do that. I bought brand new sneakers. I got the sneakers on. These are the ones I bought.
Oh, for real?
I bought a brand new shirt, everything. And you're not supposed to do that. I don't know. And I just went and did it. I'm like 2 hours sleep.
Yeah, that's right. You stayed out all night.
I stayed out till like 4 in the morning, and I had to meet you guys at like 6:15.
You were drinking beers at 4 in the morning.
Yeah.
And you showed up, and you were like, all right, let's go.
Let's go.
And we walked the majority of the beginning, and like kind of ran. And then at one point, you're like, I got to take a shit.
Yeah. I stopped off at a hotel. Yeah. I got breakfast in the hotel. You know, had the little, the buffet, the Holiday Inn Express. Yeah. I just walked in like, you got to walk in like, you've been there before. You're like, nah, I've been staying here for a week, and just went over, ate breakfast, took a shit, met you guys back up.
The best part of that whole morning was when you go, wait, I think they just called my name.
Oh, yeah. So I only make it, what is it, 13 miles?
13 miles. You made it 8.
Yeah, I made it about 7 or 8. And then you guys go, if you just go down this street, the finish line is over there.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, I'll just meet you guys at the finish line. I'm going to go grab some beers. I'll just wait for you guys.
Yeah.
So I get there and I'm like maybe 50 yards away from the finish line, and now I'm in the race. I'm like, oh shit. I go, okay, now I'm gonna just start jogging to the finish line. I wind up I'm coming in like 32nd. They're high-fiving me, they're taking pictures. I just went under a rope and just started jogging. I go, there's the finish line, and people fucking hugging me. I'm like, oh, cool, this is great.
Beers. And you're like, I think they just called my name for my age group.
Right, because in age group, like, how old are you? So they put everybody giving trophies out for. And I go, I think they just called my name. I'm gonna go up there and accept the trophy.
Such a great feeling that me and Galvin should do another one of those.
I'll do it again. Yeah, but I never tried. So I was hurting.
Well, when you did it you did 8 miles without training, I was like, well, in my head, I'd trained a little bit for that, and I was like, I bet I could do a marathon without training. And then I ended up doing the LA Marathon with no training.
You did it with no training?
Yeah, no training. I just went out and did it. Like I was like you didn't stay out until 4 in the morning, but had a few drinks the night before, showed up, banged it out. 5 hours and 33 minutes. Lost my toenails. Like, it was fucking I lost my toenails when we ran that race.
Right.
Remember, I was like the ones floating around in my sock.
Yeah.
And that was so much fun. And then we went back to the Don Cesar, which was my hotel.
Yeah.
And we just fucking drank and ate like fucking lunatics.
Yeah. No, we drank afterwards at the after the finish line. We had beers there and too. And then went back to your hotel just at the pool and just drink a beer. It was great. So you lured me in with that because I was like, I don't want to do it. You're like, dude, there's beers. Come on, we're gonna go hang. I go, all right, I'll see how long I can last, but I'm definitely not gonna be able to do the whole one. But I lasted 8 miles.
It was fucking funny shit.
But you're not supposed to. Everyone's like, what do you don't buy new stuff. You can't wear in sneakers and just run 8 miles.
Rule number 1 is you do not get new sneakers.
No, and shirt, everything. Shorts. I bought a whole outfit. I went to fucking Kohl's. Like $32.
We have to mention Chad Zumacher. He's going to lose his fucking mind.
Love Chad.
He's such an interesting guy.
I know.
He really is. Like he goes, he says to me the other day, he goes, he's like, yeah, man, I gotta clean up, I gotta fucking straighten up. And I was like, I think you're fine, Chad. And he's like, I don't know. So I go on stage and I come back and he is blackout drunk in the green room. And I'm like, okay, maybe. Like he wasn't even doing a spot. He was just hanging out. And next thing you know, he's like asleep on the table. And I go, Chad, he makes me giggle, man. He really does.
Yeah, we have a rule of thumb. If Bird tells you you got to clean up, you got to clean up. There's another comic friend of ours. Well, he's not doing comedy anymore. From Cleveland.
Who?
Joe Howard.
Yeah. If Joe Howard tells you got to clean up.
Yeah, no, when you tell Joe he needs to clean up, like, because he's such a mess that,
I think that was a perfect storm of Joe had been drinking that afternoon and showed up at the club with his chick. And he was, it was just a perfect storm of like, and that green room's so fucking small.
Yeah.
But Joe's a great guy.
No, he is. I know, but it's just, but when Bert tells you got a problem, you really need to.
The biggest problem with me is that like I never got into pre-show drinking. So like I don't ever get fucked up until the work's done.
Right.
Like so I never could understand like Jim Jeffries, and I think we all can say that Jim's massively successful, but when he gets to the club, he'll have a beer. He'll start drinking, have a beer. I don't think he gets fucked up, but maybe he'll have like 3 beers before he goes on stage. I never got into that. I just never could do that. It just I felt like I feel like I'm letting myself down if I drink before I go on stage.
Well, my theory always was, or if I'm going to do this full time and I want to really do this, if I'm working 5-6 nights a week, then I got to drink 5 or 6 nights a week.
Yeah.
I need that crutch to go on stage. Bob Levy was like that. He always needed drinks to go on stage. Rodney was like that. Rodney Dangerfield.
Really?
Had to be drunk before he went on stage. And Bob needed some drinks to loosen up. So he wanted to get to the club. And, you're doing 2 or 3 shows in a night, at least 2. But a second show, you're headlining, you're going on. It affects your sets.
It does. I said that to Burr one night. I said something about... because for me, what I do on the road is I wouldn't drink first show, and then I'd drink second show. And I was like, my second shows are just so much looser and fucking not as tight, and they're not as good as my first show. And Burr goes, yeah, that's why they don't let you drink and drive. You're not as good at it. And I was like, oh yeah, that is. And so I kind of stopped altogether. Like I will have my first drink at the end of the second show when I start telling the machine story. I'll then fucking, but even then, as soon as it touches my lips, I'm all over the fucking map.
Right.
So like I never got into the pre-show drinking. So then when I see anyone who drinks pre-show, and especially if you're featuring or hosting and you drink pre-show for a show, do your job, pre-show, second show, do your job. By the time I get off stage, they're fucking wasted because they've been drinking this whole time.
Yeah.
And that's where I always go like, and by the way, and I say this to Chad, I don't think Chad is a fucking mess. When you work with him, he does his job competently. My thing with Chad is, hey, I wanted to hang out with you also, and you're done work and you're fucking hammered. Which is fine. He's done work.
Right.
He's done his job. He's not.
But you want to hang after the show.
Yeah, I'm stone sober.
Right.
I want someone to get drunk with me. Like, wait for me and let me get hammered with you because I'm catching up to him. And so that I don't think Chad is a problem drinking before shows or on shows. He does a great job on stage. My whole thing is like, same thing with like, I worked with Kelsey Cook one time, and I go, who works with Jim all the time, and I said, hey, you gonna hang out tonight? She's like, oh no, I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna get some rest. I was like, oh, okay, maybe she's not feeling well. And the next night, I'm like, hey, you hanging out tonight? She's like, oh no, I wanna get out of here early. I'm gonna leave before you get off stage. I was like, okay. And then the third night, I'm like, hey, you hanging out? She's like, I don't think so. I go, hey, I didn't. Like, I understand you're a girl and I can't just ask you to stay here, but I need you to stay here because I'm not watching your set. I'm looking for someone to hang out with. I need someone to talk to. I can't just sit and talk to fans. I need someone to talk to a comedy about and bullshit and gossip. And she was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like, yeah. I can totally hang out. I'm sorry. But that's like part of my thing is like, I like the camaraderie. I like the fucking hang.
No, absolutely. Because that was when I met Dice. Dice is always about hanging after the show.
Yeah.
So when you work with Dice, you hang with him after the show.
Dude, I love that. I love that.
You want to be with your friends on the road. You want to hang with another comic instead of just going back to your hotel room. Like I was just in Tampa. I didn't know the other comics this past week, so I'm just in my hotel all day, not hanging with anybody. And I do the show that night, and I don't know the other comics.
Yeah.
So it's way better to bring your friends. I try to bring friends with me on the road all the time, so we can hang during the day, go to a baseball game,
Chad's
or whatever
the
the fuck.
best. Like if and then I say this, and by the way, I hope Chad doesn't hear that I'm shitting on him. I'm not.
He'll think it's funny.
He did his job, and he has done work, and that's when he starts to tie one on. But I haven't started tying one on yet. And he's the best. Like if you do, like we did a show in Detroit, me, him, and Sean O'Brien. And that was the best. Is like we did the show. We all got in the car. We all started. Sean drove. Chad and I were drinking in the car. We passed out. Like I love those. Like and he's super responsible about that shit. Like if you need Chad not to drink, like we did his shows in Huntsville, Alabama, and we had a car service. And Chad's like, I'll just drive. And I go, no, you're not driving because I want someone to drink with.
Yeah.
And he's like, what? I go, I'll get us a car service to take us from Nashville to Huntsville and then from Huntsville back, and then you drink with me. And he was like, oh, okay. I go, but don't get fucking wasted so that we can get hammered together.
You shouldn't have to tell a grown man to pace himself. I have friends that have been drinking for like 30 years. I'm like, at some point, can't you pace yourself? What are you doing? Yeah. You shouldn't be passed out this early.
Yeah, let's pass out together.
Yeah, let's take your time. Don't you like a nice buzz for a while?
Oh.
Instead of in an hour and a half, it's over?
I said I worked with, who did I just work with? I worked with a young lady. Oh, God damn it. In Cleveland. Who was it? Jessica Wellington. I worked with her in Cleveland, and I was like, she's attractive, she's young, and I got like a case of beer, and we get up to my floor. We're both going up in the elevator, walking back from the club together in the elevator, and I'm like, this is really uncomfortable. I'm married, I love my wife, I'm not trying to fuck you. Part of the thing is I do want to hang out and bullshit about comedy. And she was like, oh, okay. And I was like, I go, please say no if you want to say no, but like, if you just want to be a comic and bullshit, let's go have a beer. And she was like, okay. So we went back and had a beer, and I was like, God damn it, it shouldn't be that fucking hard. Jessica Singleton. Jessica Wellington just texted me today. I'm thinking of her.
Yeah.
Jessica Singleton.
No, it is a weird thing, you know, about. Yeah, especially you got to explain to her. Look, I'm not trying to be creepy here or whatever, and I'm not gonna go. Hey, I'll give you work if you're gonna.
All right, hang on one second. Hey, is everything okay? Far away I am. From what? I'm really far away. I have a podcast. That wasn't in my calendar. Okay. Oh shit. I'm not there.
Not a problem. Why don't I talk to Kevin for a little bit?
Fuck. I'm sorry.
It's all right. I'll take it for you, and then we'll reschedule. How's that?
I'm sorry.
Don't apologize. I'm not sure how it happened, but I'm sure it happened.
God damn it.
We'll chat over Diet Coke here, and I'll call you afterwards.
All right, I'll call you later.
Okay.
Bye. I have a meeting at UTA at 1 o'clock.
What time is it?
1:07.
Skype?
Fuck me. Well, it was good talking to you today, Jim.
Yeah. Well, just go tell him. Look, I'm not interested in doing movies, so what the fuck do I got? Why am I driving to Hollywood?
Fuck me. I am so bad. Was that in my calendar? Let me see. I'm sure it was. Yeah, it definitely was. Yeah. Yeah, it definitely was. Way to go, Bert.
It was.
Yeah. I just ignored it. I
Yeah,
actually said, I looked at my calendar today and I said, I got Jim and nothing else. And I was like, oh, cool. We'll just hang out. And I literally did not look at that other fucking thing. I apologize to Kevin Eaton. Fuck. All right. But yeah, that was, I don't know. This was worth it, in my opinion. That meeting was never going to turn into anything.
Yeah, they're just gonna tell you're gonna tell them. Look, I really don't want to do movies. If you want to be honest,
It's TV. It's scripted TV. I really do want to do scripted TV. Yeah, I really want Kevin Eaton to want to work with me. Oh, fucking Judy's like, how far away are you? I go, from what?
I know.
She goes, from UTA. I said, I'm very far away. Why? She's like, we have a 1 o'clock. I was like, okay. Fuck. All right. Well,
that might. Now they're gonna want you more.
Yeah, they're like,
Yeah, he
busy.
totally forgot about it or whatever. Okay, now they're gonna be like, this motherfucker.
God damn it. I was so good today. I was like, I got my day organized. I was like, meeting with Bill and Al. Go right over there. We got Jim. Bang, bang, bang. Fuck, well, whatever you're going to do. Well, this is a great podcast regardless.
I loved it, man. And, you know, this is just my first time on. I'm excited.
Dude, we got to do it when like, I'm going to be out in New York soon. And we should do one when I'm out in New York.
Yeah. No, I know we're trying to hook it up before my book came out and stuff. We couldn't do it, whatever. But, no, absolutely.
Fuck yeah, man.
Dude, I love you, man.
Dude, I love you. You're one of my favorite fucking guys out there.
No, look, I just saw your Netflix, the trailer. I'm like, this thing is going to be huge. I was just telling some comics last night. I forget who it was. I go, maybe Kelsey Cook, because I did her pod. I go, you realize, people that don't know Bert, most comedians do, I go, that are going to watch Netflix and go, there's a fucking guy doing a show without his shirt on. I go, and he can back it up. It's not going to be some lame special. Yeah. I go, he's going to fucking blow up from this because people are going to be like, that don't know him. Go, did you see that guy wearing? No. Oh my God, you got to see him. He doesn't wear a shirt. It's fucking great. But I saw the trailer. It was just so funny. Your fucking guts hanging out. I brought Coors Light instead of fucking. I'm like, this is fucking great. It's amazing,
dude. I appreciate it, man. I'm going to post this week. This will go up tonight. Yeah, this will go up tonight. What dates do you have coming up?
Okay, Atlantic City, the new Hard Rock Casino, August 28th through the 30th with Don Jameson. And then I got some dates down in Florida and Albany. All dates are up on JimFlorentine.com. And I got a podcast, Comedy Metal Midgets, I do every week. It's up on Mondays. And my book, Everybody is Awful Except You, is in stores, on Amazon, all that stuff too.
Dude, fucking go find Jim on the road. You literally are. I think there's a handful of us that are like committed comics where we're like, comedy's our thing. That's what we do well.
Yeah, I love just being a nightclub comic. When I was just in Tampa this week, they're like, you bring in a crazy crowd, you get them fucking crazy. I don't know, people are going to get thrown out. They're yelling shit. I'm like, I love that chaos. Yeah. I love performing in a nightclub. Just telling dirty jokes.
Me too.
You know,
that's my thing. I will never. There will never be a trade-off for those fucking moments where you come up with something in the room and you're like, "Oh shit, that's going in the act." Fuck yeah,
exactly.
All right, everyone's calling me now. My wife's now calling. Hey, I'm well aware I missed a meeting. Hey, what's up?
Are you still podcasting?
Yeah, I am.
Oh, I'm sorry. Never mind.
I'll call you back. I'll call you back in 2 minutes. Okay.
I don't need anything.
All right.
I was just checking in.
I'll call you right back. All right, love you. Yeah. All right. Well, it was great seeing you, man. Thank you so much for doing this.
Absolutely, man. Dude, thanks for having me.
Fuck yeah.